Good morning, everybody. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. We are live outdoors today. We are at the beautiful Liberty Hill Golf Course, site of the annual Montco Golf Classic. This is an event that is open to everyone, and this is a beautiful venue, Bill. And we're here on a beautiful golf day, it looks like. So we're going to have a lot of fun today talking about the various topics, and the biggest topic is the Phillies tonight, Bill. Coming off a bad loss on Sunday to the A's. They had a day to think about it, have Memorial Day picnic wherever they're having their Memorial Day picnic in Atlanta. And now against the Braves in a big three-game series tonight where they're facing some pretty good pitchers. Listen, the Phillies are a very good team. They are ranked very high in Major League Baseball right now. They are absolutely rolling. They are 34-19 on the year. But they are only 15-13 against teams that are 500 or better. Now the Braves come in tonight not as a 500 team, so this will not count. They're 19-6 against the 500 or below 500 teams. But tonight the Braves, I think, represent a little better than that also ran teams that they've been playing so far. So this is a big challenge. It's a bigger challenge for the Braves. The Braves are the ones in back of the Phillies. They've got to make up some ground on your fighting Phils tonight. So they need to win 2 of 3 at least. So the Phillies can really kind of, maybe put them deeper into their hole. Tonight, it is Spencer Strider. Now, he's coming back from injury, and he has not been sparkling since coming back from injury. 5.79 ERA. His whip is 1.39. He's obviously still feeling himself. He hasn't had a win on the season yet. So Ranger goes against Strider tonight, and then Wheeler against Smith-Strover, and then it's Sanchez against Sale. So they're getting 3 pretty good pitchers against them tonight. And so this is a bigger challenge for your fighting Phils. How do you feel about this right now, Billy?
Well, look, you said the Phillies had that tough loss on Sunday against the A's, which it was. You didn't want to see them lose that game, but in reality, they were due to lose. I mean, they had won 9 games in a row, which they have not done since Rob Thompson took over for Joe Girardi. That was the last time they won 9 games in a row, which has been pretty impressive. And you're talking about literally the best team in baseball right now at 34-19. Look, you mentioned their record against above 500 teams. You can only play the teams that are in front of you. I'm not too concerned about it. But we're literally talking about the best team in baseball right now. Even with all the struggles they had with the bullpen and all the struggles that Alec Boehm had to start the year and Bryce Harper had to start the year, all of that aside, you got the best team in baseball. You're a game and a half up on the Mets, and you could really bury the Braves over the next 3 games. I know it's still early in the season, but you're 8.5 up on the Braves. You win this series, you could get out of here up close to 10 games on the Braves, the team that we thought we would be battling the NL East with, in addition to the Mets. So I'm feeling pretty good, and there's a lot of positives about this baseball team, and maybe none bigger, Mike, than what Trey Turner has done to start the year. I was reading an article this morning. He's on pace to be the first Philly since Jimmy Rollins in 2007 to get 200 hits in a season. And his home run average right now, he only has 5 home runs, but he's hit 3 of them in the last 5 games. Trey Turner may be the $300 million guy you thought you were getting a couple years ago.
Well, certainly he was the guy that everybody liked to pick on early in the season, that he wasn't doing his job. And I've kept warning people, don't worry about Trey Turner. I know you don't like the way he plays defense, but he's a good player. And while he doesn't have it doesn't look like he was driving the ball the way he used to, he's still going to give you, when a guy hits 300, he's doing something right. So he's the least of my worries right now. A minor worry popped up, though, and this is the worry that follows the Phillies, and it's the bullpen. Now, it's buoyed by the fact that their starting pitching is among the best in the league, and maybe they can ride that all the way down. But without Alvarado, and that was balanced by Romano, recent success, but Romano did not pitch well on Friday. The Phillies won that game 4-3, but they had a 4-0 lead going into the ninth. He gave up a single, a walk, did get a strikeout and a 3-run home run from Nick Kurtz. Banks had to come in to settle that inning down. And then Sunday, Strom did not pitch well. So, again, you're going to have to balance this shaky bullpen. And I say shaky because they only have really like 2 guys that you can really count on, and you're just trying to get through some innings now. And that's the whole season. The season comes down, in my opinion, to what they can get out of their bullpen. And Romano took a step backwards.
Yeah, he did. And look, I don't want to make an excuse for Romano, but I'm going to a little
The
bit.
mound.
The
It
mound.
was the mound.
Yeah, but, I mean, Zach Wheeler also struggled with that mound. He indicated it felt like he was pitching off of concrete. And then you had Romano. He was slipping all over the place with that A's mound there in that minor league ballpark. And I wonder if that did play a part for him. Did it play a part for Strom and some of these other pitchers who did struggle? I mean, even Jesus Luzardo in the first inning struggles, and then he figures it out. So how much of it is the mound? I'm not panicking yet because the bigger sample size of Jordan Romano since he turned things around has been a lot better. But you're right. The major question with this team, as we sit here now, 53 games in, is still the bullpen. The starting pitching should be fine. They've been dominant. The lineup is deep, we know. But the major issue is the bullpen going to be deep enough to go on a long postseason run?
All right, so where are we as a Philly fan base? The Eagles start OTAs today. They're considered the front runner again to win a Super Bowl. Are they the best team in the league? Are they still the best team in the league? Are the Phillies in a comfort zone? Do we have to worry at all about whether these teams are going to be contenders this year? The fan base is in a good spot, right? If you can forget about the other things, if you forget about the offseason of the Philadelphia 76ers, forget about the fact that Paul George is doing podcasts again and saying ridiculous things. Are we in a comfort zone? Are we feeling good?
Yeah, and we're going to get to that podcast DNP later on in the show because I know Ray's got it on the news at noon. We should be in a good spot right now. I know that we still have the PTSD of October's past, what happened last October and 2 years ago. But this team is so good, and when you got starting pitching the way this team has starting pitching, even without Aaron Nola, I mean, that's the crazy thing. Even without Aaron Nola pitching up to what we expected Nola to pitch up to, this team has been lights out when it comes to your starting pitching. I don't know, man. I'm feeling good about this Phillies team. I've been feeling good for a while about them. Have you come around? Because you were a little down on this team. Are you starting to come around a little bit?
I was down on the Phillies.
A little bit.
In what respect?
A little bit. Well, you were very worried about the bullpen, rightfully so.
I'm still worried about the bullpen.
Yeah, you're still worried about
I
the bullpen.
believe that the Phillies can't lock this thing down to make me feel 100% comfortable unless they get another arm.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, you can be in denial all you want, but when you're relying on guys, listen, this is balanced. The starting pitchers hopefully get you through 7, but most of the time they're not. And so you got to get the 6th inning done, you got to get the 7th inning done, you got to get the 8th inning done, and you got to get the 9th inning done. And there usually is a comfort zone with teams that win who can bring in hammers from the bullpen to get you those remaining outs. I don't see that right now 100% for the Phillies. So if I have any worry, listen, they're a good team. I mean, I can't sit here and say they're not a good team. They're a contending team. They could very well easily get to the World Series. But for me to feel locked down on the Phillies' chances, I need another bullpen piece.
And you want that to come from outside the organization because they have an abundance of starting pitchers. So when Nola comes back and hopefully in a month or two when Andrew Painter comes up, you're going to have some flexibility with your starting rotation where maybe you can move some guys to the bullpen to be that answer, whether it's Ranger.
Well, you're telling me Ranger, and you go, well, no, that his agent wouldn't like that.
He probably wouldn't.
So there's all kinds of impediments to that whole situation. And I read a story today. Can Taijuan Walker fill the void by Jose Alvarado? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that may be.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Now
this is where we stretch the optimism way too far.
So you want to, as you sit here right now, you'd like to see Dombrowski before the deadline make a move.
There is no question that he needs to make a move. Now, if it's going to come at the deadline, I'll have Lafayette Hill. It is Lafayette Hill. And we're back after this. Show live, Liberty Hill Golf Course in Lafayette Hill, Montgomery County. It's the annual Monco Golf Classic, which is open to everybody who will pay the fee to get in this. This is a very popular event. In Montgomery County alone, which is where I live, Bill.
Oh, yeah, you do live in Monco.
Yeah, there are 52 golf courses.
That's a lot.
Were you aware of that?
And your course is in Montgomery County as well.
It is 52 golf courses, public and private. However, you can play a lot of these private courses through Monco Golf, the association.
I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Yeah, like this course that we're on today is a private course. I was able to play it last year. It's gorgeous. You have an opportunity
you can
to
play a lot of these courses through Monco Golf, which is an association. Plan your Montgomery County golf getaway. So you can plan a getaway for all these courses.
Yeah, there are some tremendous courses. I guess the one that
I'll
were
go over a lot of them today for the people out there that didn't realize that you could play these through Monco Golf.
And I'm assuming when we were at Truist a couple weeks ago, that's in Montgomery County as well, right? Philly Cricket?
It is, I believe. I believe it is.
I think so.
Don't know. I'm not really sure.
I think that's a Montgomery
in
County.
any event, this was a short weekend for a lot of people. The weather was kind of chilly, but it was still a decent weekend to be down there. And our producer back in the studio today, Ray Dunn, was a big star apparently this weekend in the Wildwood area.
He was, but I think he's feeling the pain today and not from drinking because he made the mistake of no sunscreen on Saturday, and he's burnt to a crisp, is my understanding. I wish we could see it today, right?
His knees are burnt to a crisp, which means Ray was lounging in a chair for most of the day with his knees pointed towards the sky. And so the sun hit him, and he's got red beat knees in a picture that was taken by his buddy Connor Thomas.
Yeah, what's going on,
posted
Ray?
it, and Ray said it was a violation of his privacy.
It was.
Yeah, Ray, what's going on, dude?
I mean, he took the picture without me knowing, so it kind of was a little bit of violation of my privacy. Yeah, I wish I could say it was all day. It was only really 2 hours out there, and it was a low UV, and I really just don't want to get the lecture from everyone today about sunscreen. I've heard enough over the last 48 hours. I'm feeling the pain. I understand the mistake I made. I didn't make it intentionally. He was up at North Wildwood. I biked from Wildwood Crest up to North Wildwood, forgot the sunscreen. I'm not turning back around. I'm going to spend an hour or two there, and then I'm going to end up going back. I thought I'd be fine.
You don't have to go all snippy here. You're getting a little snippy here.
I'm not getting snippy with you, Mike. I'm getting snippy with the people that are already going to be commenting and getting upset with me.
People are trying to care for you.
I know they're trying to care for me.
You burned up your skin. That's no good.
It is no good. I'm right there on board with everyone.
Maybe you should have reversed your field. Maybe you should have gone to a CVS.
Maybe I should have.
Wait,
but I didn't.
Hold on. You were on the beach with other people. No one had sunscreen that you could borrow?
You don't want to
Not asking for their sunscreen.
Ray's not that. Right. Could you have asked a lady to put some sunscreen on your knees?
No, certainly
that would have been
not.
a good pickup line.
No, that's not. That's
Can
creepy.
you please,
I would end up in handcuffs.
Can you put it on my knees?
The headline on Crossing Broad would have been Mike Missanelli's producer arrested for asking woman to rub.
No, it was a harmless ask.
No.
But this story goes deeper. Because Ray is now, obviously, he's a big star. He's being recognized everywhere. So he goes into a bar down the shore, and there's a lot of listeners out there. Oh, that's that Ray Dunn. And so, Ray, tell the story with the first question they asked you. They called you from across the bar?
Yeah, I was at Tacos and Tequila at North Wildwood, and I was getting a drink, and across the bar, some guy yelled over, Ray. And I was like, hey, how are you? And then he yelled something about Bill that I couldn't make out, but it didn't sound nice. And I was like, oh. That's interesting. I turn around after I get my drink. There's the guy right there. And he's like, I got to ask you. I just have to know. Do you really hate Bill? And I said to him, I looked right in his eyes, and I was like, man, you don't even know the half of it.
Good. I'm glad you didn't cop out and be nice to the guy.
You don't even know that.
Yes, he does. He does this like Bill intently. So that's good work. So Ray, was it because I was discussing this with somebody where I was at the show, and my girlfriend says, I wonder if Ray's out there partying it up, whether he's hungover today. Ray?
Depends which day, but yeah, probably.
Yeah? So
which day was that question asked?
You were pounding it pretty good? The question was asked on a Sunday, I believe.
Oh, yeah. No, was feeling it Sunday for sure. Yeah, Sunday was a very slow day for me.
There's a lot of nicknames for Ray now going through our YouTube chat. Ray, medium well done.
Pretty good.
Red Lobster Ray.
Pittsburgh Ray.
Ray.
Pittsburgh.
Dawood says Ray is cooked more than the T-Wolves right now.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
That is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
And they're also saying you have a hangover voice, Ray.
That's surprising because I really didn't have anything to drink the last 2 days. It was very.
You sound good enough for us.
I think you sound fine.
Yeah,
I think I sound normal.
fine.
I just sound
But,
annoyed about the sunscreen because I'm more annoyed at myself. And every time someone reminds me, I start to get upset again because I can't believe I didn't do it. I've been this pale for 25 years.
Yeah, you need aloe. You got aloe?
Oh, trust me. Plenty of aloe. Plenty of aloe.
Slather in the aloe?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very nice.
The aloe vera. Yeah, it's good.
See, Bill and I are Italian, so we dared the sun.
Yeah, I don't usually use
dared the
sunscreen.
sun
Not
to
recommending
cookies.
it. See, what I got to be careful of is the bald spot. That's the only thing I got to make sure is blocked from the sun.
Italians seek the sun. It reminds me of the story that my good friend Anthony Gargano told me once about when he was a kid. He was like a sun rat. So they would go stay at a hotel down the shore, and they would find one with an infrared light. Remember those infrared lights?
Yeah.
They used to have in the bathrooms?
I do remember those.
They would lay under the infrared light when they weren't in the sun. That's insane. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and handicap the Phillies and get to the text board of what the people are feeling about the Phillies and the Eagles right now. It's a happy time. It's a happy time this spring.
You know who's throwing out the first pitch tonight at the Phillies?
Who's that?
Howie Roseman.
Is that right?
That is correct. The place is going to be going nuts tonight when Howie Roseman gets to the mound.
Throwing out the rock today. Yeah, that place will go nuts. So Spencer Strider, Ranger Suarez at the ballpark tonight. The Atlanta Braves are in. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
OTAs open up today. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles open up OTAs today. The first of 6 days. First of 6 days of work over the next 2 weeks where they will have the team together. This will be our first look at Kevin Tulo's offensive coordinator, chance to get some injury updates and look at some of the position battles. We should hear from some of the Eagles members later on this week as they address the press throughout the middle of OTAs. Tonight, the Phillies welcome the Braves to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game set. Phillies 34-19 on the best record in the National League. After a 6-1 road trip, the Braves enter tonight at 25-27 on the season and certainly have struggled on the road, 9 of 18 on the road this season. Tonight's game is at 6:45, the pitching matchup between Spencer Strider and Ranger Suarez. Today, Mike and Bill are live for the Monaco Golf Classic at Union League Liberty Hill. They'll be there for the entire show. And this update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. The Mercedes-Benz Dream Days are back with offers on vehicles like 2025 E-Class, CLE Coupe, C-Class, and EQE Sedan. Hurry now through July 31st. Learn more at MBUSA.com/stream. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
726, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic, 610-632-0975 is how you get into the show. I'm just curious to know how many people now are, it's funny because Philly fans react like up and down like like they're crazy in a lot of ways, like Eagle fans. When the Phillies will lose a game and something rears its head, like the bullpen, saying they can't win. I was listening to the morning show and they had that kind of so people. The guy texted in, was playing golf with his buddies. They always look at the negative side. He always looks at the positive side of it. So where are we now with the Phillies? Are we in the positive mode with the Phillies? Are we still being held back by this bullpen situation? I'm positive, but held back.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair way to look at it, where they're good enough that we should be talking about Red October, right? This team is good enough that they should make the postseason. But then the issue becomes, is that bullpen good enough to get over the hump and win a World Series? And you're probably right that they're not right now. I just don't know how much they got to do. Like, I keep saying Dombrowski's going to make a move, Dombrowski's going to make a move, and I still would like him to. But at the same time, when you have this much starting pitching and there's more help on the way with Andrew Painter, and I mentioned this on Friday to Ray, why not move Mick Abel to the pen? I'm not talking about right now. Keep Mick Abel down there in AAA. Let him do his thing. But when you're throwing 99 miles an hour, why can't he be a bullpen arm come October? Like, you have options if they can't make a move, and you want to make sure you protect Painter, Miller, and Crawford. If you don't want to give up those top three prospects to get a bullpen arm, you have enough starting pitching both here and in AAA between Mick Abel and Andrew Painter that you should have answers, shouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't think so. Here's the thing. Mick Abel had a problem with command. He's now straightened it out as a starting pitcher where you have a little more leeway for the command. You know you're going to throw 5-6 innings and you can figure it out. You got to come in a bullpen, and you're a young guy. You got to have command right away. Like, you don't have any leeway. He doesn't have experience with that. So, no, I don't think that's a good option.
Yeah, and you're probably right, too, in that when you're talking about high-leverage situations in October, it's a completely different feel for a young kid.
Yeah, now Kerkering, when he first came up, succeeded. But Kerkering has been bred to be a bullpen guy. Guys that are bred to be starters, they have the comfort zone of knowing they're going to throw a lot of pitches to figure it out.
Yeah, it is a different mentality. I agree with you. I mean, look, I still would like to see Dombrowski make a move. I just don't know how much I want to see it at the expense of an Aiden Miller or a Justin Crawford, and certainly not an Andrew Painter. Now, if it's a Ranger Suarez type, see, that's where it becomes difficult, though, because if you traded Ranger, you got to trade him to a contender, because why else would they take a rental piece? Ranger's in the final year of his deal, so it's going to have to be a contender that thinks they have an abundance of bullpen on.
Mm-hmm. So let's put it this way. If you come to the realization, and a lot of games have to be played before you may come to that realization. If you come to the realization that they absolutely cannot win it without another good bullpen piece, would that change your mind on trading a prospect?
Probably, because if we went into this season saying what? Like, this is probably the last shot for the core as we know it to win a World Series. And when you have a team that is really this good, I mean, we said it earlier, best record in baseball, number one in Major League Baseball power rankings as of today as well. When you got a team that's this good and this close, if you're telling me a bullpen arm may be all you need to help put it over the top, then I think I'm willing to mortgage the future a little bit and saying, you know what, let's go all for it. Because when's the next
I wonder how many people would do that. This is where I want to know where the fan base is right now. This is why I'm asking the question. They're rolling pretty good, okay? 34-19, 19-6 against the lesser teams. So they're doing what they have to do against the lesser teams. You don't find this team getting beaten by the A's twice or the Nationals once. You know, you're not seeing that kind of thing. Like in past years, you would see a Philly team lose to a bad team. This team does not lose to bad teams. So you have that confidence level, and then you go, okay, but they're like 500 against 500 or better teams. So does that mean they have to mortgage a little of the future to reassure the fan base that we're really going to do something this year? rather than cross your fingers?
It's a good question, and I do want to hear from our listeners on that, either on the text board or the phone line, because I'm curious where they would be. See, I'm usually give up all the prospects, and I would probably be that way this year as well. We saw what happened in 2012 with the Phillies. After they traded away all their prospects and they went all in with that core, they did get one World Series, but then after that, we had 10 years of misery, man. Like 10 years of misery because we didn't build up our farm system. You have a good farm system now. Do you really want to trade them all away to try to get something? I mean, who would be untouchable for you? Would you trade Andrew Painter?
No, I wouldn't. He would be my only untouchable.
All right, so Mick Abel, you would trade.
In a minute.
Justin Crawford, you would trade. Center fielder.
Boy, it's tough.
And then you got Aiden Miller.
A center fielder is so important to what the Phillies are right now. That, if that guy could be your center fielder for the next 10 years, that's going to be tough. And a speed guy at the top of the order. I almost would think that Aiden Miller, even though I know he's got some pop, I always think that Aiden Miller would be the guy I would trade.
I'm on MLB.com right now where they rank the top 100 prospects in the minors. So for the Phillies, they got Andrew Painter as the number 5 overall prospect in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Then next is Aiden Miller at 25.
Mm-mm.
And then Justin Crawford all the way down at 56.
Now, you got to put that in proper perspective, though, because Aiden Miller, I believe, will be a third baseman in the big leagues. I don't think he'll be a shortstop. So at third, what's the more important position, third base or center field, top of the lineup guy?
With this Phillies team, or are you just talking about in general?
In general.
Center field.
Top of the order center field guy.
Yeah, because they're gonna need that too if you're not believing in your boy.
Or you look at it like, wait, a power hitter is always more important. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know which would be. My instincts would be that Justin Crawford will be the more exciting player in the big leagues.
Well, also, just look at it with Aiden Miller. Is he blocked here? He's not playing shortstop. You got Trey Turner for, 11 more years?
He's probably not blocked because
you move on from
Bohm.
But Bohm's hitting 270.
Yeah, but Bohm's going to be 30 years old soon. Trey Turner's under a big-time contract. You can't do anything about that age. But you can do something about Bohm's age.
Interesting. So you would be willing to trade Aiden Miller and not Justin Crawford?
More likely.
More likely.
Again, it's a hard decision for me. But if there's something that's going to prevent me from getting to the World Series, and my glaring weakness is such, and I do believe it's a glaring weakness without Alvarado, I can't look at Romano as an Alvarado guy yet. It's too soon. I know he had a couple of really good outings in a row, but it's too soon for me to go, can I really rely on Strahm, Romano, and Banks coming down the stretch? And Kerkering? Can I really rely on that?
Not
Is
if
that
you're going
enough
all
for
in.
me?
Not if you're going all in. And you're convincing me, too, that I would probably give up everybody but I don't know. I can say everybody but Andrew Painter, but I would hate to give up on Aiden Miller, hearing what we hear about how good he is. Justin Crawford, I don't know. Don't you think they could maybe find a center fielder somewhere?
I don't know. I like a guy that's got that kind of profile as a center fielder.
Now, the crazy thing is, I gave you all the Phillies that are in the top 100 according to Major League Baseball in terms of prospects.
Mm-hmm.
Mick Abel, not in the top 100. In fact, they have Mick Abel not even in the top 7 in the Phillies farm
But he's
system.
rising.
They got him at 8.
He didn't have a good year last year, so this is all new. He'll get his recognition as he had a really good outing his first time out after the Phillies returned him. So he's going to get there. All right, we're going to get to our text board, and also today, somehow I want to talk about T.J. McConnell.
I was thinking about you all weekend.
I'm getting buried daily by people who are T.J. McConnell devotees, and I frankly don't get it.
That jumper looked pretty good. That jumper looked good.
What jumper? 10-footer?
Oh, yeah,
a
baby.
10-footer?
Right at the top of the foul line.
T.J. McConnell is what he is. He's a scrappy little, underachiever, overachiever type of player who can't shoot a lick. And I'm going like, they should have never got rid of him. Oh, we have revisionist history. We're talking about a guy who plays 15 minutes a game. What are we talking about? Magic frickin' Johnson? People got to explain this to me. What is this over-the-top affection for this guy? It smacks so much of this Philly underdog. Oh, we love him because he's a grinder. And it makes me crazy. They love people with a lack of talent.
He's going to the NBA Finals, most likely.
He is? Oh, not so fast, my friend. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
We want to hear from you. So text us at 610-6.
It's 10:41. Mike Missanelli Show at the beautiful Liberty Hill Golf Course. Bill, a little history of this Liberty Hill Golf Course. It was a couple of corporations owned it at one point. There was Cigna who owned it. Then it became the Ace Club, and now it is being run by the Union League, Philadelphia.
Yeah, Union League, man, they've really expanded their golf.
They're taking over the world. They just have they now run the Whitebriar in Avalon.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were upset about that. Whitebriar used to be a spot that
Yeah.
a lot of people my age hung out at.
Yeah, that's John Clark's favorite spot.
Yeah,
But in any event, this is a beautiful spot that you can play. And then it's like today is the annual Monaco Golf Classic, so it's open to everybody. This is a private course, obviously, but I didn't know that a lot of private courses in Montgomery County you could actually play through the Monaco Monaco Golf Association. You know, there's 50 public and private courses here. That's the most of any county in Pennsylvania, I believe. 300,000 yards of play. Golf. 300,000 yards of the terrain is golf.
yeah, I mean, this area in general, and it's like a golf mecca when you really think about how many beautiful courses there are.
Yes. And so we're here all day today, and this is just a spectacular.
Are we going to get to play when we're done?
I didn't bring my clubs.
I didn't bring my clubs either.
Well, how are you going to play? You going to play with what, sticks?
We'll rent them.
I don't know if they were.
I wonder if they would have let us play, Mike. We should have thought that through.
We actually should have.
Well, they wouldn't have stopped us if we brought the clubs. It would have been like, oh, that's Mikey Miss. Let him on.
Yeah, we probably could have played. But you got the kids.
I got the kids. Yeah.
All right.
Actually, Mikey Miss met the little one this weekend.
Yeah, the Bill came over to the Casa at the beach, and we hung out for a little while, and Bill got hammered on 2 margaritas.
I'm such a lightweight, and Mike's GF made me these delicious margaritas. My wife had to drive home. All for 2.
Really?
Just 2. Such a lightweight, man.
No.
Yeah, I swear. Bridget had to drive. I'm like, B, you got to drive. I can't drive.
Yeah,
I can't drive.
They were nice margaritas.
They were delicious.
Bill,
I'm not a big drinker.
Bill got whooped into shape.
But it was nice. Mikey Miss got to meet the little one. She was an angel, as always.
She was cute. We had dogs barking at her and the whole bit.
Yeah, nothing phased her.
Yeah. So, Ray, what is the text board? Is the text board humming it all today?
Yeah, we got Mike and Lansdale checking in on the Phillies, saying, yes, they went 6-1 on the road trip, but look at that one loss. It was the bullpen. That's what's going to stop this team from winning. Don't buy into a winning streak against bad teams.
Ooh.
Oh.
So there you go. It either goes one way or the other. That you get really down, or you go, nah, they're a good team, man. They're good. We could be in a lot worse shape than where we are right now.
Yeah, when we're talking about the bullpen, one of the arms we never talk about as being, concerned for is Strom, and he blows a save this weekend. So, Romano almost blows the save on, Friday night, where he gives up the 3-run home run, and then Tanner Banks has to come in, and then you see Strom blow a save on Sunday. I'm not comfortable with the bullpen, but I think they can fix it. I think there's enough moving parts with the starting rotation, with the minors, and then with the trade deadline. I think they're going to be all right.
Okay. All right, let's go to the phones and talk to Greg from Bethlehem. What's up, Greg?
Gentlemen,
How are you?
good morning. Good. Good morning to you, Lobster Man. I feel your pain. When I was 7 years old, 65 years ago, I had second-degree burns on both thighs from exposure to the sun. In those days, all we had was copper tone, which was kind of a license to deep fry your skin.
There was no SPF in it.
No, we never heard of SPF.
Copper tone with the little kid pulling down his little shorts to show his white cheek.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? You could get away with that now.
No,
Remember that ad, Bill?
you
I
couldn't.
do remember
Copper
that.
toe with the little girl or
Yeah,
little
and the
kid
dog was.
pulling down.
Yep, I remember it.
Yeah, good times.
Good times.
That's some seed.
Yeah, no,
Come on.
We were. Greg.
as far as the Phillies go, it's all well and good to come off with a 9-1 road trip, against supposedly inferior competition. But, how much of a yardstick do you place on the current series or the upcoming series with the Braves? Do you think that that's a critical?
Yes. Yes, I do. They're a good team. They're a challenger. So if the Braves come out of here and they win 2-3, I'm not feeling good about it.
Yeah, I mean, you would like to think that we could prevail. it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, Strider continues to be erratic, and I mean, the Phillies.
Now Acuna's back. Acuna back, and he's got 2 bombs already.
Yeah, I mean, he's a rough opponent, no question. You have to be careful. It just seems like the Phillies haven't done well against starting pitching. And, can you continue to just wait for the relievers to win a game?
No. But their starting pitching is what it is. It's good. So, I mean, you don't have to worry that much about it. You have to worry about the back end of the games. That's all. You got to worry that a team stays close and your back end can't handle it. All right,
We lost Greg.
We lost Greg. So we're going to take a break. Is Ish checking in today?
I think he is. I hope he's going after Ray today.
Bill, you told me a great story that one of the early dates of your wife. I want your permission to tell it.
I don't remember which one. You have to tell me during the break.
Like Ray would love it. This is Ray. I tell the story. It's like typical Bill.
Oh, boy.
I got to hear it. I don't even know which one you're talking. Maybe I was so drunk at your house.
What was
Off of
it?
one margarita.
It has something to do with your wife.
All right, tell me during the break. I'll give you the okay.
All right, 610-632-0975. And all you TJ McConnell fans today, I want to have at you. All right, I want you to come at me like I have never seen a player that's so beloved, who's so mediocre, than TJ McConnell, and people just want to stuff it down my nose. And I want to discuss it with you today. So if you're one of those people who've been badgering me during the weekend, please call in today. It's the Mike Missanelli Show back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
OTAs open up today. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles open up OTAs today. It's the first of 6 practice days over the next 2 weeks. They have the whole team together. This will be a first look at Kevin Patullo's the offensive coordinator. Chance to get some injury updates and look at the position battles. We should hear from some members of the Eagles organization later this week as they get through their OTAs. Again, just 6 over the next 2 weeks for them. Tonight, the Phillies welcome the Braves to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game set. The Phillies are 34-19 on the best record in the National League after a 6-1 road trip. The Braves enter at 25-27 on the season. Struggled on the road, 9-18 on the road this season. Tonight's game is at 6:45, and the pitching matchup is between Spencer Strider and Ranger Suarez. And today, our show, Mike Bill, live from Montco Golf Classic at Union League Liberty Hill. So be sure to listen all show long as we check in from there at the Montco Golf Classic. This update's brought to you by the local Ream Pro partners at thereamteam.com. When you want your home to feel like a dream, it has to be Ream. Stay cool with a high-efficiency AC system from Ream, RHEEM. Find your Ream partner at thereamteam.com. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
5:54, Mike Missanelli Show live at the Liberty Hill Golf Course in Lafayette Hill, site of the annual Montco Golf Classic. Again, we're talking about Montgomery County. I'm going to go over some of the public courses. I know a lot of people like to play public golf.
Yep.
And I always hear from people, well, there really isn't enough places to play. There's 15 public courses in Montgomery County.
Is there really?
Yeah, and I'm going to go over all of them for them. I'm just to tell them where they are.
Have you played a lot of them?
No. but I know of them.
Yeah.
So, I'll go over those in a second. So, Ray, you're going to love this Bill story.
Oh, we got the okay for this?
Yeah, I guess so.
We got the okay.
Oh, boy.
I haven't heard from the wife
Bill
on
story.
it.
I'm going to wait for the
no.
top of the. We're going to wait for the top of the hour.
Yeah, we'll just ask for forgiveness instead of
before I do this.
Jeez.
But I think you'll like it, right? I'm doing this for your purpose.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But
Early Bill dating stories do entertain me at times.
Yeah, it's from early on, like one of the first dates Bill ever had with his wife.
correct.
So let's go to the phones in the meantime, and we'll go to Ray's favorite caller, Ish from Levittown. Ish, what's happening? Did you have a good Memorial Day?
Yeah, I was stuck at work, so.
You weren't. Well, you're probably making double time and a half, right?
No.
All right.
But
What's on your mind today, Ishi?
Well, right now I'm doing schoolwork, so I'm just trying to get this done and over with. But I wanted to talk about the Phillies. I have the same feeling as I did last year. I just don't know where they're going to go at this point. Hopefully, Dombrowski can make a move to better up the outfield, and I don't, bullpen thing we need.
Because you got to talk into your speaker here. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go. That's better.
Okay.
All right. So you want the bullpen. You want him to make a move in the bullpen, which I agree with.
Yeah, we need to make a move in the bullpen, and I'm willing actually to give up Aiden Miller. To tell you the truth, you really can't even hold on to these prospects for too long because we don't know how they'll pan out. So
here's the problem. It seems when you give up a premier prospect for a relief pitcher, it seems one-sided, and I know people feel that way. Like, if a starting pitcher would be one thing, like another piece would be like you give up a prospect for a starting player. If you're giving up a prospect for a bullpen piece, that shows you're a little desperate. But if you need it, you have to be desperate.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we are desperate at this point. I would definitely try to go after some of the.
Not quite desperate yet because their record, they're first in the division, and they're playing pretty good baseball right now. So not desperate yet. But when we get closer to the trade deadline, we'll see where they are if they play these better teams.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Can I ask Ray how his?
Sure. I knew you were itching once you heard Ray's burn knees. I think you were itching to call in today.
This is just too easy for me right now. Ray, are you still there?
I'm paid to be here till 2:00, man.
Ray, you ever watch SpongeBob?
I
You know
have.
Larry the Lobster? Larry the Lobster? I think that's how rich you are right now. And you was on your little tricycle going to the beach to meet Connor Thomas. You go play in the sand and wiggle your little toes. That's why you all burned up right now, Wayman.
Oh.
Making castles.
I have to give you credit. This is actually the best you've done.
Yeah,
this was pretty good.
Connor Thomas making sandcastles.
Yeah, this was a good
Yeah,
one.
I had to give you a lot of material for it to happen, but I appreciate it.
Oh, Ish, that's good stuff today. There you go. There's Ish.
Yeah, now we're starting to realize why Ray forgot the sunscreen because he had to pack the buckets and the little castles.
Yeah, me, Connor Thomas.
It was pretty good. Listen,
Little buddies who make sandcastles.
I'm usually a hater. That one was
Yeah.
worth the call.
Yeah, and your little tricycle.
I knew he was fired up for something because as soon as we finished that story, he showed up right on the line.
That is classic. Oh, it's 610-632-0975 is how you get into the show. I really would like to gauge your level of confidence with the Phillies. Do they have to make a deal like that, or are we just barking? A lot of people are, you're always barking. Leave them alone. They're fine. Well, I think 50% of the people think they're fine, 50% fret. So we're just trying to deal with that. You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1. Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. And today we're broadcasting. Well, normally we do it at the Comcast business studio, but we're here at Liberty Hill Golf Course today in the great outdoors on a post-Memorial Day. You say I got my Memorial Day hat on?
Oh, that's your Ryder Cup hat right there.
Well, that's my USA hat.
Yeah, but it has the Ryder Cup on the side.
Yeah, but ignore the Ryder Cup. This is about USA, Memorial Day.
Gotcha.
All right? It's not about the Ryder Cup. This is about loving my country.
Did you see my hat
and the
today?
sacrifice that people make so we can do the show here.
That is true. That is true. Sometimes we forget the real meaning of Memorial Day, so I'm glad you brought that up.
That is correct. We think that the meaning of Memorial Day is how many hot dogs you can grill.
And that's not true.
Not at the Colorado residence, but at normal. Like I grilled hot dogs last night when I got home from the beach.
I grilled last night, too, but instead of hot dogs, we went with the chicken sausage. You know, I'm talking about some of those chicken sausages with the different things. We got them from Trader Joe's, of course.
Yeah, the ones that don't taste like anything.
Oh, they were good. They were spicy.
So I tried to make ribs last night when I came home.
On the grill?
Well, here's the thing. Jerk ribs. So I saw a recipe for jerk ribs and this really nice marinade. So I go out, we get home, I get to the store, I get the rack of ribs, I make the marinade. Unbeknownst to me, the recipe calls for 90 minutes in the oven and another 90 minutes on top of that.
Oh, you don't have 3 hours.
No. So I had to abandon it. So they are marinating for tonight.
Oh, nice. What time should we be over?
You're not invited. You were invited once. That's the end.
That's it.
But speaking of the invite, so Ray, Bill is he's got he's drinking a margarita, and so a lot of stories will flow out of Bill.
Oh no.
So Bill and his lovely wife Bridget, lovely lady by the way, and they're sitting over and we're having chit chat, and Bill tells a story about one of their early dates, and Bill has run on mouth sometimes,
No, that guy, the one we work with.
He's got run on mouth. So Bridget is telling the story. Like we've all had our little health problems, and so we're sitting around talking about all our health problems, like old people. And so she reveals that she had a bout of epilepsy in her younger day. And Bill goes, so yeah, we're talking on a date, and she reveals this to me. And I go, so what are you going to do? Are you gonna fall asleep in the middle of dinner here?
Oh
Ray doesn't get it, I don't think.
He confused it with narcolepsy,
Bill.
which is
Even to make a joke about that on the early date.
I know. So
You
one,
would
I
have
was
been justified
wrong.
to get a drink in the
Because,
face.
Epilepsy.
It's
Epilepsy is seizures.
It's so Bill that he wouldn't. He got the wrong lepsy.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you going to fall asleep while I'm talking to you?
He had the wrong lepsy. Like.
Also, totally him to be like, how does this impact me? Is she going to fall asleep with one of my stories? Am I not entertaining enough?
I think it was very endearing that she could realize.
That she didn't throw a drink in your face and walk out of the restaurant?
What, are you going to fall asleep?
Oh my! You going to fall asleep in the middle of dinner? She goes, "No, it's not. It's not that." Oh my God!
Mike enjoyed that one.
Such a Bill story. I had to tell it.
Bill always says, I thought there were 4 careers. It does the lawyer, the doctor, and I forget what the other 2 are. The doctor was clearly not one of the possible careers. Lawyer was the correct first choice for you.
You know, it's funny you said that. When I was in high school, I started taking anatomy because I thought I wanted to be a doctor.
Really?
Yeah, and then I said, you know what, I don't want to do this. I didn't like anatomy. It was all memorization. You had to memorize all the body parts and everything. Like, nah.
Yeah, I guess that would be helpful.
Yeah, nah, not for me.
What is that? I don't know. I've never seen that one. What is that? That's that. Oh, it's the liver? Oh, okay.
Yeah, not for me.
Come on, man. All right, let's get back to the text board, Ray. What do we got?
All right, Joe from Boston here. Phillies bullpen scares me. They're 10th worst in Major League Baseball with a whip at 1.37. The Mets at 1.16. Atlanta 1.21. Dodgers 1.28. We're 6th worst in the NL and tied for 8th worst in Major League Baseball. Bullpen ERA at 4.61. It's Felix Bautista or Mason Miller for me.
See, this is the thing. Phillies, I think they're saying the right thing not to make their fan base panic, but they know that, right? You understand, and they're making it. Well, maybe Taiwan Walker can go out there, or maybe Mick Abel if we can bring him up, his stuff plays, or maybe this guy can step up here, and Joe Ross, or Ruiz coming back. They're conning themselves into thinking that they can get by.
However, I understand the texter's point about where they rank in terms of ERA with the bullpen and all that. A lot of that was from the beginning of the year, though. Like, the bullpen struggled immensely in the beginning of the season and hasn't been as bad. And he mentions Mason Miller. I love Mason Miller. Did he look good against the Phillies? I mean, they got to him 2 out of 3.
He's going to look good more than not because of his stuff. His stuff plays better late in it. Let's look at the stuff that plays, what they have right now. Now, Strom's nice. I don't know how he gets as many people out as he does. I honest to God, I don't know whether people don't pick the ball up out of his hand or whatever. He's 92. Romano, all right, he's a power right-hander who I don't know yet. And then you're talking about the other guys, the soft tosser. Like they don't come out of the pen with gas right now. Even Kirkering. Now Kirkering will get it up there maybe 96, sometimes 97, but he doesn't blow you away. Like unless he's got that sweeper going, he's not going to get you out.
Yeah, you're right. And if they do move one of the starters to the pen, like I was suggesting, Ranger doesn't throw gas. I mean, he's not going to blow you away.
You're trying to get by with the Walker. Okay, he's at 91.
Yeah, you're right. You don't have a lot of heat.
Like you have to get by with guile with all these guys. While other pens rely on, okay, I got enough stuff in the arsenal where I'm going to get a guy out, even with a mistake pitch. I can get a guy out. Those bullpen guys with mistake pitches are not getting anybody out.
And that's why I floated a couple, maybe in the 10 o'clock hour, about do you move Mick Abel? Because he at least can throw the heat. Well, if you can't get a bullpen arm at the deadline, I know he's a young guy.
Does Mick Abel get you a good bullpen? That's the question. Is he good enough with his track record, as brief as it is he good enough to get you a dominant piece? Is anybody going to give you a dominant piece from Mick Abel? They don't even know what he is yet.
No, they don't. I mean, we'll see how his rest of his season goes before the deadline. But it's more likely that Mick Abel, I think, gets you a good bullpen arm than Ranger Suarez, because Ranger's in the final year of his deal. So like we were talking about earlier, you got to get a guy or a team that is a contender that thinks we got an abundance of bullpen arms, but we need this rental starter. Whereas Mick Abel, you could get a team that's out of it.
All right. 610-620975. Where are my TJP? Come on, I'm itching for you to throw TJ in my face today. I'm not going to argue back. He's done a great job. He's forged a career that I never thought he could forge. I got admiration for the way he scraps. You got the talent. Mike Missanelli Show is back after this. On the Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Did you see the comment that was made by Doris Burke during the finals that people were up in arms about?
I did not. Which one?
Thunder Timberwolves Game 4.
I must have missed it.
Which the Thunder won. So she was discussing Rudy Gobert, who's French.
Yep.
And Isaiah Hartenstein, who's German. And she made an odd mention of the rivalry that has gone on over history between the French and Germans.
People didn't like that?
She said, and I don't know much about history, but I know the French and Germans don't like one another. And Rudy says, "Bonjour, Mr. Hartenstein. Have a little bit of that left-handed dunk." Now, what do you think of that?
Look, I think it was an attempt by her to say something witty, but maybe I could see how it rubbed people the wrong way.
It's a World War II reference.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So she was trying to be witty, but a little much. A little much. People were up in arms about it.
The French and Germans don't like one another, and now they don't. They like each other, don't they? Oh, what are we holding a World War II grudge?
No, yeah, they like each other now.
That's what I mean. Like, she goes, I don't know much about history, but I know the French and Germans don't like one another.
Don't know much
That's like
about
a
history.
blanket statement. Like, how do you say that?
Yeah, it's a little much. People were coming at her on social?
People came at her.
Did she apologize?
Like crazy. No.
I missed this.
Cringe, said one X user. Did Doris Burke just make a WWE 2 joke? Come on, man. What's going on with that?
Oh, yeah, now I just Googled it, man. A lot of people
came at her.
Yeah, see, that's one of those things where, like, if you have to think, should I say this or not, just don't say it.
Yeah. So speaking of the NBA playoffs.
TJ McConnell.
I'm going to go over some of these tweets that I got. But first, I need to talk about the Knicks. I like the Knicks the way they play, right?
Yeah, we know. We know.
But I don't like them anymore because they squandered the first two games. They're not the same. You squander 2 games at home to that team, you're not the same. So I don't admire them anymore.
And they come back from what were they doing?
Well, here's the thing. They have done this now 3 times, which is unprecedented in NBA playoff history, to have to trail by 20 3 separate times in games and come back to win. They did it twice against the Celtics, and they did it this weekend.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And they blew those leads in the first 2.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just go over some of these tweets I got. This is why I want to discuss it, because I'm going, really? Of course, they want me to apologize to T.J. McConnell.
So do I. Yeah, I want the apology.
That's the first thing you get, all right? This guy, Trey Belasco. I want Mike Miss to apologize for telling me I was wrong all the times I called him and told him we should trade Ben Simmons and start our all-star guard, T.J. McConnell. Now back in the day, when Ben Simmons was a viable up-and-coming star, that's what they were telling me back then, that T.J. McConnell was better than Ben Simmons.
And listen, he's not a starter. T.J. McConnell's not a starter. He's playing 15 minutes a game.
Yeah. Here's Joseph Mahaffey. I will take T.J. shooting a 10-15 mid-range jumper over Ben's push shot 10 out of 10 times, especially in a playoff game. He's played 15 minutes in this game, in the last game.
Well, look, and now, yeah, you would take T.J. over Ben Simmons now, but no one would have done that back then.
Yeah, McConnell plays the same way in the NBA that he did at Duquesne. Great motor and never embarrasses himself, and at the end of the day, he'll walk away with $90 million. God bless the kid. God bless the kid for surviving. I have no problem with saying the kid is a survivor, and he survived by playing hard and being scrappy. But he's not a talented guy. He's just a scrappy guy.
I don't know. I'm
Did
looking
you
at
ever
these
see
numbers.
him try to shoot a three-point shot? He's the only white player in history who can't shoot a jump shot.
He don't take a lot of threes.
As a white man, I resent that.
I know that's your biggest gripe with him. But listen to this, Mike. 15 minutes in Game 3, he drops 12. 14 minutes in Game 2, He drops 10.
I don't know how he does it. I don't know. He scrambles around and somehow gets an open 10-footer.
He's got double-digit points in
I'm
every
talking
game
about
in
being
this
a
series.
white guy who can't shoot a long-range jump shot. It's unheard of in the NBA. It's never happened to my race.
You don't need him to, though. He's the scrappy guy.
You don't need him. Yes, you do. It would be nice if he could spread the floor and make a three-pointer.
He's going to hit those little 10-footers from the top of the key. Stop hating on TJ.
I'm not hating on him. He is what he is. But please, let's not think, like, the way people talk about this guy, he's freaking magic.
Well, that's because...
And enough. It's just this mentality of we appreciate under-talented players just because they have a sandpaper marks on their nose.
Is he the most successful process sixer? Ray, you could probably answer this. Is T.J. McConnell the most successful process sixer, Ray?
I mean, if you take out the fact that Embiid was there for that.
Yeah, I'm not included Embiid in that.
Like the group of guys that were part of teams that tanked?
Yeah. I don't want people to get me wrong. It's a nice little story. But my God, do we get carried away with the under-talented?
We love those.
It's an epidemic in Philadelphia. We get carried away with the under-talented. I like the skill player. That's what I like.
Yeah, but when you say we get carried away with the under-talented.
We do.
I think it's
because we all relate to them. Because we're fighters and we're scrappers in the neighborhood.
It's not just under talent. It's guys that leave it all on the court or the field and give 110%, and T.J. McConnell does that. So, yeah, you're right. Ben Simmons, more talented than T.J. McConnell. Has it mattered? No, because he doesn't have the heart that T.J. McConnell
Early
does.
on, he was fine until the Atlanta series, and then everything went downhill.
See, someone in the chat says, you like the Knicks because they're scrappy, but you hate T.J. McConnell.
Yeah, but the Knicks are also talented, scrappy. That's the difference. You don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals without being talented. Jalen Brunson's scrappy. Is he talented?
Very.
610-632-0975. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
OTAs opens up today. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles open up OTAs today, first of 6 days over the next 2 weeks. We'll have the team together. This will be our first look at a number of things. Kevin Tuila's the offensive coordinator, chance to get some injury updates, look at position battles, and we should hear from members of the Eagles organization later on this week. Tonight, the Phillies welcome the Braves to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game set. The Phillies 34-19 on the best record in the National League after a 6-1 road trip. The Braves are 25-27 on the season, have struggled on the road 9-18 on the road this season. Tonight's game is at 6:45. The pitching matchup is between Spencer Strider and Ranger Suarez. And today, Mike and Bill live for the Montco Golf Classic at the Union League Liberty Hills. So be sure to tune in all day as they continue to take you through what's going on down there. This update is brought to you by WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private because your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even WhatsApp. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
4, Mike Missanelli Show, live at the Liberty Hill Golf Course. We're here for the annual Monco Golf Classic today, and we have a special guest sitting in with us. He is the CEO. Of course, Liberty Hill is run by the Union League of Philadelphia, and we have the Chief Mahal. We have the Hefe, the CEO of the Union League, Jeff McFadden, sitting in with us. Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for stopping by. Now, tell us, first of all, what the Union League's connection is to the Monco Golf Classic.
Well, we've been around since 1862, and we just took over Liberty Hill here out in Lafayette Hill, and it is a world-class golf center, and we're building the #1 club in America. This past year, we were actually rated higher than Augusta National Golf Club.
This golf course was?
No, the entire Union League.
Oh, the entire Union League. All right, so the Union League's taking over the world, first of all, and so you got heavy lifting to run all this thing. How many golf courses are now run by the Union League?
So we have 3 golf courses, 81 holes of golf. We're building par 3s, so golf for everyone from 5 years of age till 85 years of age.
Okay, so you have this one. You have the one in Northeast.
Yep, Donald Ross, Tarsdale.
Okay, that's Tarsdale, and the one down in Avalon.
Yeah, Union League National.
Union League National, which is spectacular, and that is how many holes down there?
That's 27 holes, and we just designed with Dana Fry the new 3-hole par 3 9-hole course, which is going to be world class. Your great grandson is going to be able to play with you.
Okay, so I know this is this tournament is open to everybody, but how do you get on a Union League course?
Well, we host incredible community associations and partners every Mondays and Tuesdays at all 3 of our golf courses. So there's lots of opportunities to support the community, support your favorite charity, and come out and participate on what is truly a world-class golf here in Montgomery County.
Now, when you took over, Union League has been a successful entity for a really long time. You have raised this level from revenue of some $7 million to over $100 million. How have you done this?
Well, I'm half Polish, half Irish, so sort of weak mind, strong back. It makes me perfect for the hospitality industry. But we keep our head down. We basically deliver what members want. It's we have a saying around here: the answer is yes. Now ask me the question. And by taking care of members, it's our secret sauce. It's the right strategy, and then having the right people perform the strategy.
How is all this money raised? Just through membership of the Union League?
Yeah, we're completely private. The club is owned by its members. Wonderful people, a lot of entrepreneurs, CEOs, industry leaders who, have multiple families, multiple generations here. We are the #1 regional lifestyle club in the world. And so we're building your granddaughter's club. I mean, we've been doing this for about 25, 30 years now to say, okay, what is the next generation going to want? What's the third generation from now going to want?
So there are many more golf course Union League ownerships in the future?
I don't think so. I think we're almost completed about where we want to be. We want to have 5,000 members. We want to be special. But we still want to be private. Which makes it nice. It's a real family sort of atmosphere around here.
So, do you have to be a Union League member to also play on these courses? I know that you have to be all your courses you have a separate membership. I understand that, but do you initially have to be a Union League member?
Yeah, there's only one membership. It's you're a member of the Union League.
Okay,
and then you can add on golf.
Okay.
So if you're a league member and you belong somewhere else, because we have the greatest golf in the world here in Monco, you can join the league, and then you can play 3 times at each golf course as a league member. And then if you want unlimited golf, you can join 1, 2, or 3, or just add them on to your membership.
So if I was a member at a local club, which I am, I can play this course 3 times if I join a Union League.
Correct. And then you can play 3 times at Tarsdale and 3 times at National. So it's a great deal. People say, well, it's expensive. I don't think it's expensive. It's worth it, so to speak.
All right. Are you comfortable discussing how expensive it is to join the Union League?
Well, like any private, we don't do that, but it's not as expensive as you would think.
Okay. So Bill, there you go, Bill.
Yeah. Now, one of the things at the Union League in Philly that you guys did that's awesome is that roof deck you put on. I was there last summer. I can't believe that you were able to do that.
Yeah, that was fantastic. That's sort of goes in line with building your granddaughter's club. You know, all these young kids, they graduate university, they want to move to urban, they want to move to Center City. And it really is a totally different vibe than you get with the wood panel on the first floor. You get this sort of, I want to say Manhattan, Tokyo, London type feel with the rooftop. So we love it.
We're talking to Jeff McFadden, the CEO of the Union League. All right, Jeff, the latest venture is the Whitebriar. That's just if you've been down the shore in Avalon, the Whitebriar has been an institution for a really long time. A lot of party youngsters that go to the Whitebriar. So now the Union League is taking over. Tell me about the transition and how you guys fared this weekend, Memorial Day weekend.
Well, I can tell you it was great because my back is killing me. Last night we served over 250 members and guests. It was amazing. We expected 20 people, and 250 showed up. The island had cleared out by 3 o'clock as people got on the road, and we didn't expect any. So it's been great. We're looking forward to the potential and opportunity to build a summer house, a shore club down there in the future.
Oh, those poor young kids that used to go to the Whitebriar, though. You know?
I played golf with Jason Kelsey out here a couple of weeks ago. They're all going to Sea Isle now. So
that's how it is? Yeah. All right. Listen, Jeff, best of luck in this tournament. Just tell us a little bit about the people who would play in a tournament like this.
Well, there's people who support Mont County golf. We have the greatest golf, as I said, anywhere in Pennsylvania, if not in the region. You look at the great public golf courses. We have Jeffersonville, Turtle Creek, and then the private golf courses. We have the oldest country club in America here at Philly Cricket. Obviously just hosted the Truist, which was a great event. We have the #1 club, I think, in the world in the Union League of Philadelphia right here. And we also have Marion Golf Club that has the 5 of the best finishing holes anywhere in the world that you can imagine right here in Montgomery County. So come out and support Montco Golf. Play golf, whether you're 5, 15, or 25 years of age. It's a great sport to take up and play until you're 85.
How often do you play?
I try to play 17 to 20 times a year. I don't post as many scores because the members, always look at my gin and they say, hey, you're playing too much golf. So
okay, that sounds good. Jeff, that pleasure. Thanks for sitting in.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Best of luck
Thanks,
with the golf tournament.
All the best.
All right, so from what he was saying, that the private and the public courses here, I just want to go over some, because a lot of people like to play the public courses. And so I'm looking at right now. These are the public courses. There's Turtle Creek, which is let's see.
Yeah, that's Ray's favorite.
Is it?
Right near where I grew up. So yeah, that's where I would play.
That's in Oaks, right?
No, it's I guess technically Royersford or Limerick, one of the two.
We have
there.
Butter Valley. We have Hickory Valley, J.C. Melrose, Jeffersonville, Letterock, Linfield, Mainland Golf Club, Rolling Turf Golf Club, Twin Ponds Golf Club. I think that's up there in, where is that? I know where that is, but I can't remember the town. Twin Woods Golf Course and Westover. So there you go. There's a lot of public courses you can play here.
Yeah, I haven't played any of those.
And if you get involved in Montco Golf, these destinations, you can play a lot of the private tracks that are here.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, there's a lot of good ones. Not only this one, Marion, Philly Cricket, there's a ton. White Marsh is another one. That's Mike's club.
Yes. So there you go. All right. Back to the text board, right? Anything on the text board?
Yeah, we do. Still some people checking in on the Phillies. James from Levittown. I would not trade the farm for a bullpen arm by any means. I'd hate to go into purgatory once again. This team is aging, and we need guys for the future. If anything, I would trade maybe one prospect and maybe throw in Suarez, 2 for a bullpen arm and another prospect. Whatever it is, I'm not trading more than one of our top prospects.
Okay. That's fine. If you're not going to trade one of your top prospects, you're going to trade one of your top prospects, which is what I said I would do. I would trade one of my prospects.
And you would have Andrew Painter untouchable and potentially Justin Crawford.
I would not trade Ranger with a prospect. I think a good prospect would get you a really good bullpen arm, and I think that's a lot to pay for a good bullpen arm.
So then what's your plan with Ranger come October? You got to put – he's not a starter, is he?
I don't know. I mean, would they consider trading him, or would they bite the bullet and say, you know what, I know we might lose him at the end, but we have to have him in the rotation?
So play that through, though. You need 4 starters in October. We know Wheeler, Luzardo, and Sanchez have to be guaranteed 3 of the 4, right?
Yeah.
Nola has not pitched up to par recently, but I would think he's got to be one of your 4 starters come October. You're not putting Nola in the pen, are you?
No.
So now there's no spot for Ranger outside of going to the bullpen. So if you don't trade him, he's got to go to the bullpen.
Yeah, I guess they would have to use him in the bullpen today, like they did a couple years ago. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say. This is what they're faced with right now.
And then what are we doing with Painter? If Painter does come up at the end of June or early July and he shows that he's a quality starter, what are you doing with him
I don't know. And they're reluctant to have him in the bullpen. He would be a guy who could be gas out of the bullpen. I think his mentality is that he could handle that kind of a slot. But I don't know what they're going to do. I'm more curious in what Philly fans think right now, where they are, and what they would have to do. And I know people don't want to trade prospects. I know that the team is getting old. I get it. But it's not like ancient right now. The same guys are going to be in the lineup for a while. Like, you're not going to move on from these guys. Maybe you got one guy that you can move on from, and that's Bohm.
Yeah, but then you hope that they re-sign Schwarber, so he'll still be a part of this team.
There's no question you're going to re-sign him. That would be a foolish move not to re-sign him.
But JT's probably not here, and Castellanos only has a year left on his deal. So those are changes that could be made.
All right, 610-632-0975. We're going to give you a list of all the private courses that if you get involved with Monco Golf, you could play, which I did not know. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Connor Thomas.
The Sirianni's credit comes
All right, showdown series for the Phils against the Atlanta Braves. 3 against the Braves, and they're going to get some good pitching against them. Spencer Strider, although not in the Spencer Strider form yet, goes against Suarez tonight. What's the line on that game, Bill?
Let me look that up.
Do we have a line?
I'll get it for you. I would think the Phils would have to be favorites, especially with Howie Roseman throwing out the first pitch. I mean, come on now. Place is going to be rocking at Citizens Bank Park.
I think they'd be a slight fave, not a hearty fave.
All right, so the line tonight, you said a slight favorite for the Phils?
Slight fave, I'm thinking.
Wow, you're spot on, dude.
Yeah.
They're minus 112.
Oof.
But the Braves are a minus 104, so it's essentially a pick-em.
Oof. All right, the next night it's Wheeler against Smith, Strauver.
You would think the Phils will be big favorites.
Yeah, and then Sanchez versus Sale. Now, they got off the hook with Sale the first time.
Man, it's interesting. Now, you said something earlier that you're not going to feel great if they lose 2 of 3. And that's
no, I'm not. That's ground that they would gain, the Braves.
Yeah,
and they're coming, and it gives them you take a series in Philadelphia, it gives you a little more momentum. They're playing well. I don't need them to get any more momentum. If they lose the series, they've lost something.
Yeah, and the Braves got Acuna back. Hit a home run on his first pitch he saw. Did you see that this weekend?
Yeah, and then he hit another one in the second game.
Yeah, so you don't want to give them any life. But that goes back to the football mentality that we view Major League Baseball with. Because after winning 9 straight, if they're to lose 2 of 3 to the Braves, we're going to act as if the sky is falling?
No,
we can't overreact to one series.
But here's the thing: it tweaks this notion that they can't be good teams. That's what it does. They're one game over 500 against 500 or better teams. So if you, and this is not even a 500 or better team. You know, we can consider that the Braves a good team. You know, they're going to be a tough opponent. So even though their record is below 500, you would count that as a plus 500 team.
Yeah, but they were ravaged by injuries early on. But, you know, I like looking at more than even the record itself. I like looking at how they're doing in series.
You love the series.
And right now the Phillies are 12-4-1 in series this season. I mean, that is flat out dominant, man. I mean, to only have lost 4 of 17 series to start the year, even with all the problems that we've had with this team, from slumps to injuries to the bullpen, starting pitching at times with Aaron Nola, they still have won
15 games over 500.
They've been very, very good, man. Very
fantastic. Very good. But again, if you got to win 2 or 3 against the Braves, you just have to, in my opinion.
Especially when you got Wheeler and Sanchez going, you would assume. And then Ranger's been pitching well, man. He's been pitching well. So I'm surprised that it's a pick'em tonight, though.
You got some golfers coming out here already.
I'm jealous, man.
I see a White Marsh hat.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
I'm a little jealous.
You are?
I wanted to play. I didn't get to play this weekend. I was supposed to play last week, got rained out, and now we got this beautiful course behind us. Yeah. Did you see the view on our YouTube channel? Look at this. You got the water behind us.
It's really nice.
People are saying I think it's the way you're sitting, like the way we're on a slant here. People are saying that I'm towering over you today.
Oh, really?
Do you see how it looks?
I'm leaning back. I don't have my microphone is. I've pulled it out because it's the table's kind of high.
Yeah, we're kind of on a slant here, but yeah, it looks a lot bigger than you.
Yeah, I'm slumping just to stay more comfortable. So there you go. All right, I'll prop up.
There he is.
Yeah,
there's Mikey Miss.
There I am. I'm propped up.
Yeah, but it is a very nice.
All right, so you got a sheet of statistics down for your Phillies, right?
For the
I always
Phillies.
like to get to the Bill pad.
Well, I was taking a look at some stuff today just to see where they ranked in terms of all Major League Baseball. I mean, we know they have the best record in all baseball, but they are, from the hitting perspective, they're number 4 in batting average, number 4 in on-base percentage. One of the areas they struggled early was slugging. They're number 7 in slugging percentage now. They're top 8 in stolen bases. And then we always hear, they can't hit with runners in scoring position. They're top 10 in batting average with runners in scoring position. So the offense is performing very, very well. And then I went and looked at the pitching. Number 1 in strikeouts. Number 4 in starting ERA, where they still struggle, is they're number 23 in ERA when it comes to the bullpen. But if you remember, it was about a month ago, they were 29th or 30th with the bullpen. So they're getting better. A lot of that is because of what happened early in the season. There's just a lot to like about this team. Kyle Schwarber leads the National League in home runs. Trey Turner on pace for 200 hits. I was reading this article this morning. Apparently at the start of the year, Rob Thompson said to Trey Turner, we want you to score 100 runs, steal 40 bases, and have an OBP of 380. Well, he's on pace for 116 runs, 43 stolen bases, and he's getting close with the OBPs at 365. So Trey Turner is showing maybe he was worth the money.
Wow, look at that.
I've been
After
critical.
all the people that have been down on Trey Turner as a disaster. Even when people thought he was a disaster, he was hitting like 285, which I had to laugh.
Yeah, and right now he's hitting 310.
Yeah, you don't worry about those kind of guys. Maybe you worry about him with a backhander in the hole.
Well,
but
the people the players on this team that we are critical of the most are probably Trey Turner, Alec Boehm, and in years past it would have been Castellanos. Turner's hitting 310, Boehm's hitting 272, and Casty's hitting 271. They're performing. And then Bryce Harper now is performing. He's up to 267. I think he's raised his average by 30 points in the last dozen games. So the lineup is showing why they're so deep. And then Max Kepler, who hasn't necessarily been that hot, comes out against Mason Miller, goes yard to tie that game in the ninth inning the other day. So everybody is showing up. It's hard not to feel good. I understand your concerns about the bullpen, but I think there's time to figure it out when you got the abundance of starting pitching. We know the trade deadline, Dombrowski will do something. But that's really it. I mean, last year I was pushing for the right-handed bat in the outfield. I hated the Austin Hayes move. I didn't think there was an answer. I'm not as needy of an outfielder now. Like, I would be okay with Rojas and a platoon. Like, I'm okay with where they are as far in terms of a lineup.
You're okay with Rojas and Marsh?
I'm okay. Marsh is playing better, too.
All right, so you're okay with that?
I'm okay with Rojas and Marsh.
And you're okay with the left field with Weston Wilson and Kepler?
Well, I like dub-dubs. But
yeah,
I would like to see them.
Your affection has to run out.
It has. I would like to see them give Kepler more opportunities against lefties to see if he can be the everyday guy. I mean, he's hitting 219 this year against left-handed pitching, but he's only had 32 at-bats. So I want to kind of see them give him more opportunity. And if he shows he could hit left-handers, your lineup should be fine at that point. And your starting pitching is great. All you need is a bullpen arm or two, and there's no reason this team couldn't get to a World Series.
By the way, why wasn't it suggested that we should bring our clubs today?
I don't know. We really dropped the ball, dude.
I think we got blurred by Memorial Day weekend and weren't thinking.
We weren't, because I guarantee you our buddy, our new buddy, was the
the CEO, Jeff.
Jeff, yeah. I'm sure we could have said, "Yo, can we get 18 into the game?"
Yeah, Chaucer should have been maybe behind the scenes. Maybe the path should have been smooth for us.
You know what? Yeah. We should find Jeff. Maybe we should get back here one day this week.
Yeah,
because you know what?
We need people to have our backs.
Because you know how these events are too.
Yeah, like Vito. Where's Vito?
Where is Vito?
Vito should have had our back.
We should talk to Jeff. We should try to get out here this week, because even this event, sometimes there's all these people. It takes a little longer. I got to get home to the kids.
Of course, you could play today anyway.
I probably
get home to the kids.
I actually could play today. That's the crazy thing, because I don't have the older kids today.
All right, there's the music. 610-622-0975. We'll take your calls. We get back to our text board after this. The Mike Missanelli Show continues. We're live from the Liberty Hill Golf Course, where the annual Montco Golf Classic is taking place today. See ya. We'll be back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
OTAs open up today. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles open up OTAs today, the first of 6 days over the next 2 weeks where they've got the team together. So we'll first look at a number of things for this Eagles team. Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator, chance to get some injury updates, look at the position battles. We should hear from some members of the Eagles organization later on this week. Tonight, the Phillies welcome the Braves to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game set. Phillies 34-19 and own the best record in the National League after a 6-1 road trip. The Braves come in at 25-27 on the season. They've struggled on the road, 9-18 away from home this season. Tonight's game is at 6:45. The pitching matchup between Spencer Strider and Ranger Suarez. Today, Mike and Bill are live from the Union League Liberty Hill. They're at the Montco Golf Classic. We'll keep you up with everything going on there throughout the day. This update is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Get a wireless plan, saves you money and an extra trip. Switch to Straight Talk at your local Walmart while you shop for those little oranges the kids love. It's real unlimited data with real convenience. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for NBA playoff action. action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The Fanatic, 610-622-0975. So I went back to the scene of my every year vacation this weekend. I haven't been to Wildwood, New Jersey in I don't know how many years, dude.
Did you get a little Max Pizza while you're up on the boards?
I did not. I just went down and played a couple games. It's weird to go back to a place that you spend every summer, the same week, every year, the same hotel. And you walk down that street where it used to be, and now they're all like they're condos, and there's no hotels at all, except one is left. There's a place called the Quarter Deck Hotel, which used to be across the street from the hotel that our family used to stay in.
Wait, where was this? In
This
center
is
of
on
Wildwood? Or?
Pine Avenue, and it's a block from the boardwalk, like the same boardwalk block. You would just walk up the boardwalk. That was our vacation every year. And I got on the boardwalk, and I got weak-kneed.
Oh, you got a little nostalgic?
I did.
And then you went and you won a stuffed animal.
Yeah. Well, here's the situation. So I'm with Amanda, and she like said, "Can you?" You know, she was half joking. Can you win me a Cupid doll? So I go, all right, I'll go to the water guns. Now,
I don't think it went that way. I think you were probably like, "Hey, girl,
No.
I'm going to win you that stuffed animal."
No,
over there."
it was. I had no need to win a stuffed animal whatsoever. But since I go, okay, let me try here, because I used to play the water guns all the time. Now there are two kinds of water guns. One is the machine gun. Where you
just hold the
you have
buttons.
the two handles. No good.
Yeah.
I got to go with the pistol grip.
So that's like the old timer ones where the balloon pops.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or it goes up.
Yeah.
But this was a balloon pop. So I have the strategy down because I was taught by some of the great water gun shooters of all time that you stretched the tube as close to the target as you can. So you pull it all the way out and you lean in so you have less of a space that the water has to travel, and therefore you get a jump.
Makes sense.
Right. So
you cheated the poor kids who were playing. Because you have a longer arm than they do.
hold on. The story goes on. All right. So I got the longer arm, and I'm closer to the target, and it's coming down to the finish. My balloon's going, and I hear pop, pop. My balloon hit first. But the guy behind the counter goes, all right, it's a tie. We have to have a runoff. I go, no, dude, my balloon popped first. And the guy who was with a kid said, yeah, he's right. His balloon popped first.
Wait, hold on. How old was the kid?
Oh, wait a minute. The story goes on. All right. So they give me the stuffed animal, and I go, I don't fit. And she didn't feel good about it either. And she grabs it and gives it to the kid.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, you're about to ruin the poor kid's
The
day.
kid hugged it like it was his last stuffed animal, man. So not only did I get weepy walking on the boardwalk, I got weepy then.
Look at you.
Now that story doesn't end there. So I'm driving back from the shore, and I take the Girard Avenue exit all the time, off the Schuylkill off from the bridge, and that's right. That takes you right past the Philadelphia Zoo. I get misty-eyed again at the zoo.
Why were you so emotional this weekend?
I used to take my daughter there. We had a pass where, like, a frequent visitor pass. So I would take her there all the time to go to the zoo. And now that she's a grown woman, I realize that the youth is gone from me. Like, this is why I'm thinking of you. You got these youthful kids.
Yeah.
You're raising these kids. And I remember, like, that was one of the things I did with her, and I got misty-eyed again. It was a 3 misty-eyed situation.
Look at you. A nice emotional weekend. See, some people say Mikey Miss doesn't have a heart. You proved them wrong this weekend,
There you go.
Mike.
3 times I had the heart, and now I'm a little subdued today. I got to be honest.
You are a little subdued. Now, you did the water pistol.
Yeah.
Did you also put a quarter on pop?
No, I didn't do
or
the
nan?
I didn't see the wheels. I think
they got the wheels.
I missed the wheels, but it's an unfair advantage for me as a sharpshooter on the water guns.
That is a little unfair.
I realized it's like Secretariat is racing against the nags.
Did you do the basketball hoop?
I did.
That's
now interestingly enough,
that's a scam.
The basketball hoop there are 2 hoops now that they do. Neither one can you win. One is full-size basketball, but a cut-down rim.
Yes.
And the other looks like a big rim, but it's oblong. You don't see it from the surface. and it's a little ball, which they fill up like 100,000 psi So it's hard as a rock.
Yeah, it bounces like
and
crazy.
it bounces like it's so if it hits anything, even the backboard. A lot of people say, well, you hit the backboard. You hit the backboard, the bounce of it will hit the front of the rim. It's impossible to make one.
So
You need to make 3 to get choice of the house.
So you played basketball. You did the water pistol game. What else did you do?
That was
on
it.
You didn't do any rides or anything. You didn't ride the Great White
No, I didn't do any rides.
because that's our deal of the week.
Well, yeah, I didn't.
Is Maurice Pier? You could have taken advantage.
I did not do the rides. Sorry.
And you didn't eat at Max Pizza.
I did not eat at Max Pizza.
Were you a Max or a Sam's guy when you were a Wildwood kid?
I don't even know what Sam's is. Sam's wasn't even in existence when I would go to the
Because
boardwalk.
I agree.
Max was.
I was always a Max guy. I did Manco and Manco this weekend in Ocean
Oh, you
City.
did?
So we lucked
Yeah,
out.
I got news for you. There's a lot of really good pizza places on that boardwalk. If you walk past it, the monster pizzas, the slices that they serve.
Where, in Wildwood, you
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, it's tremendous.
Now, where would you go to ice cream down there? Did you do Core Brothers, or was that too expensive?
Yeah, I was at Coors Brothers.
Do you see how expensive that is now?
Coors Brothers?
Oh, my God.
Really?
I was looking at it this week. I didn't get it, but it's pretty.
Well, for give me an idea. Like,
I can't even remember. Honestly, I don't remember
Well, it
now.
wasn't $10.
I just remember my wife and I being like, "Oh my God!" Like, if I
Was it
take the
$10?
kids, it's not that much.
All right.
Ray, do you know offhand how much Coors Brothers?
I do not know.
You know what I used to get all the time at Coors Brothers? What was the Mikey Miss go-to?
Don't tell me it was the creamsicle,
It was the creamsicle.
the orange and vanilla.
Yes.
Nah,
Classic.
No.
The creamsicle was classic, Bill. Come on.
chocolate and vanilla swirl, rainbow jimmies.
That's boring. Rainbow Jimmies?
Yeah,
Ah.
rainbow
Jimmies
jimmies.
don't add anything to it.
Chocolate and vanilla swirl.
I
rainbow
used to like
jimmies.
when they dip it in the chocolate, but the hot chocolate.
Oh, and it hardens.
Yeah, I like that. All right, you're listening to Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live today from Liberty Hill Golf Course, site of the annual Monco Golf Classic. A little chilly, got a little chilly here, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
In
though.
any event, it's noontime, and you know what that means? It's time for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ray Dunn with today's news at noon. Ray, what are we swinging with today?
We're going to start up in New York. A Fanatics event over the weekend had Giants quarterback Jackson Dart in attendance. The question was asked, Dart, you got number 6. Why aren't you wearing your college number 2? Listen to the conversation.
Your number 6, which any single-digit number is obviously awesome, but did you offer any money for number 2?
Yeah, it's too much.
You said no. You said no.
Too much, yeah.
Is it a violation not to give your franchise quarterback the number?
Who has it right now?
Deontay
Deontay
Banks,
Banks.
their cornerback.
Oh, yeah. I guess that is a violation. It should go to the franchise quarterback.
Well, is he going to be a starting quarterback? He's not going to be a starting quarterback. It's not like he drafted him to be the starter.
No, I guess
Eventually.
by the time he's a starter, you could always switch his stuff.
Yeah, you can't. No, you can't do it. You can't give it up. Not for a guy who could be third string. Like if he was the franchise quarterback, he was drafted number 1. Yes, but not. If I'm Deontay Banks, I don't give it to him. Third stringer, man. What am I supposed to do? Give up my number for a third stringer?
Yeah,
Can't
and I
do
guess
that.
the organization's not going to go to Deontay Banks and say,
Yeah.
"Hey, we want you to give this rook his number."
You think that's a violation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How's that a violation? The guy's going to be third string.
I understand asking for too much to start, negotiate down, take whatever price from him. He's going to end up being the franchise guy. You draft him in the first round.
How do you know? He might be a bust.
If he was drafted in the first round, he's drafted to be the franchise
Jackson Dart
guy.
has no clout right now. No clout.
First round quarterback versus cornerback.
But not guaranteed. They got 2 guys ahead of him. They got 2 veterans ahead of him.
And we were all shaking our boots when they signed Russell Wilson and Jameis
That's not
Winston.
the point. The point is they got 2 vets there. You cannot presume a double play, nor can you presume that he's going to be the starting quarterback.
I'm not presuming he's going to be it this year, but long term, if you draft him in the first round, you're not drafting him to be a third string
so
for
if
his
I'm
career.
Deontay Banks, I go, well, long term he's going to be the future. I'll give him my number. Come on, man. Deontay Banks has to have some pride too.
Just take the paycheck. Take the money from the kid. Thanks, man. Here's number 2.
What the kids? Did the kid say he offered anything?
Hey, he said it was too much.
It was too much. That's what I mean. It was too much.
That's
What's
either
too much?
poor negotiating by Jackson Dart by not going with the counteroffer, or it's Deontay Banks being a little bit of a diva there.
I don't know.
I don't know, Ray. They're saying on the YouTube chat your brain is burnt today too.
Fair enough. I'll take it.
Yeah, Bray, I can't get with you on this. Usually I'm with you on these things, but Deontay Banks has some pride, too.
Well, I'm going to get you something from New York that you're definitely not going to love.
Right,
Jeff Teague taking a shot at Jalen Brunson, the way he plays basketball, what he believes is wrong with the Knicks.
You know how the Knicks lose these games, bro? Jalen Brunson holds the ball for the shot clock is 24 seconds. He's holding that for 17. Yeah. Trying to get a pick and roll. Bring another dude. I'm going one-on-one. If he don't make it, it's like, that's why when he comes out the game, all of a sudden the pace pick up, the tempo pick up, all of a sudden you see people start hooping a little bit. He hold the ball so long. He's a great player, hell of a player. He makes tough shots. He does all that. He got the ball for 18 seconds. I was like, no way in hell I want to hoop like that.
Yeah, there's two things here. First of all, he's not wrong as it pertains to this series. However, Jeff Teague never had the ability to do that, right? So you're going to smear Jalen Brunson. How many games have the Knicks won with Jalen Brunson playing that way?
A lot.
And how did they win against Boston?
Yeah, because Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, what are we going to forget about that now? Now, I get it. Against this team that runs and a completely bad matchup for the Knicks, I get it where that can get the Knicks in trouble. But what is he supposed to do? Be a traditional point guard? What snipers does he have on this team that he could be a traditional point guard?
Yeah, there isn't one.
They don't have DiVincenzo anymore.
No.
Dante was firing in a Minnesota game.
Yeah, no,
they don't
right.
have a firer.
Yeah, you can't change the way that they've been successful.
Yeah, come on, Teague. Ray?
All right. Last one for you here.
No. I want to know what your spin on that.
Oh, my spin on this?
Huh?
I think it's very much too late to change the way you guys play, but it does absolutely hamper them when the other team's going 100 miles per hour and you got to slow it down. If possessions aren't a premium for you, your biggest asset there, and it was something I cut out of there, is the fact that Mitchell Robinson sometimes could pull down the offensive boards, or Josh Hart does, to give you a second possession and let someone else try and create something. Because Brunson, if you don't get that first bucket, you're not scoring.
I think when Brunson plays that way, he underutilizes Karl Anthony Towns. So those guys had to have some chemistry, give and take. Because it's funny, Karl Anthony Towns, his effectiveness early in that season for the Knicks was because Jalen Brunson was getting them involved. All right.
Yeah, and I think you saw, that second half, what Karl Anthony Towns could do for you.
Yeah, and Brunson on the bench. And so Patigue's got a point. They have played better. They have made runs. Like they made a run with scrubs on the floor, including our old pal Landry Shamet,
which is hilarious.
Brunson on the bench.
Yeah, when Brunson was in foul trouble.
Yes. All right, next.
All right, next one for you. We're going to another NBA conversation, one close to our hearts here. Paul George, Podcast P, with Carmelo Anthony. We finally found out what the fans said to Paul George while he was stuck in traffic on Broad Street after the Super Bowl. And it was great.
As soon as I roll the window down, they like this. Yo, that's Paul George. Yo, that is Paul George. Said, yo, we could have kept Tobias. We could have kept Tobias. You gonna do this? Shout out TB. It ain't no joke at TB. It was funny, but it was like some you take to the heart. Like, you right. Facts. I got you. That right there will wake your up, though. You probably woke up like, yo, what the I got to be ready for this. I got to the crib, found the closest basketball. Yo, let me get right. For me, that was a beauty of playing in a big city. I know it ain't going to keep me sharp no matter what. Like, I got to stay sharp. I have to.
That was Melo there at the end, but we got a response from Tobias Harris, who said tweeted out 4-27, picture of him with a cigar, which was the record of the 76ers after the Eagles parade.
Wow. So Tobias clapping back a little bit.
Tobias clapping back. Well, he said no disrespect. Shout out to TB. But here's whatever his name. TB, is that what they call him? Tobias?
They called him TB there. Yeah, I don't remember anyone else ever doing that.
Yeah, it's CH really. But hey, TB. Paul George is a little too happy telling that story.
He is. Yeah, he is a little bit too happy.
Like on one hand, you go, yeah, he gets it. But on the other hand, it's like, dude, I don't need to hear you celebrate the fact that you sucked.
No, I'm with you. And look, that's when you sometimes, Michael, say, with all due respect, and then you completely disrespect somebody.
Yeah.
Like him just saying, like, oh, all respect to Tobias. Yeah. But he took that as
it's a funny story.
Yeah.
But to not tell a podcast where Philadelphia people are listening.
I agree with Mike. He seemed a little bit too happy. Now, Ray, did they get into on the podcast why he was even on Broad Street that late at night during the parade?
Did not
Trying to
catch that
drive?
part on why he was trying to get around in that part. I think they were coming back from somewhere, if I recall.
Yeah, everyone who was in the city knows you're not driving Broad Street after the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Not in Philadelphia, man. He just doesn't get
Yeah,
it.
I want to hear more about that story, how he got stuck being an idiot.
Yeah.
All right.
But you're right. There's nothing funny about that. Paul George is laughing too much.
Yeah, he's laughing a little too much.
We're still
A
scarred.
little chuckle. Like, he should have told that story. Yeah, I was embarrassed. I really had a bad year last year, and here's a reflection of it. But don't laugh about it.
Yeah, he thought it was funny.
All right, that's the news at noon. Thank you, Ray Dunn. Let's take a break. 610-632-0975. Where's the bathroom in here? You know where it is?
Yeah, I'll bring you there as we go past the
you
food
don't have
buffet.
to bring me to the bathroom.
I'm going to go
Just
to
tell
the
me where
food
it is.
buffet.
What, are we going to hold hands as we walk over there? Mike Missanelli.
You have been nostalgic.
Mike
I don't know.
Missanelli Show continues.
Philadelphia Union
Twelve 13, Mike Missanelli Show. It's one of my favorite jams. Come on, man.
A little bit unrelated, but you just reminded me. I'm disappointed I didn't go to the Metallica concert this week.
Oh, you did?
I didn't go. Yeah, it looked great. All the videos on social media.
Two
Jen
different
was
shows,
there.
by the way.
Yeah,
Jen, you were there?
Jen was there.
Jen Scordo is our engineer today. So two different shows, Jen. What they didn't play the same song twice.
No, it was a no repeat weekend, they called it.
No repeat weekend. So
Yeah.
were there enough songs that got entertained from one day to the next?
It's Metallica, yeah. Duh.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty.
It was great.
If you could pick one song, Mike, that you would want to hear Metallica play live, you got one?
It's the ballad.
Which one's that?
Nothing Else Matters?
Yeah, Nothing Else Matters.
Nothing
They played that
else
Friday.
matters.
Did they play that Friday?
Yeah, so I saw that one.
I mean, that's classic.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's kind of a corny, overplayed song, too, but Enter Sandman would be cool to hear live.
They ended with that Sunday.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
cool.
and they, with that say they waited until the last minute.
last song on
Sunday. The
Sunday.
last
Of
song was
course.
Enter Sandman.
I mean, they ended with Master of Puppets on Friday.
Oh, okay.
That's another good one. Now, wait, so they played Friday and Sunday, and then mixed in on Saturday, there was another concert. It was Jelly Roll and Post Malone, and they brought out Allen Iverson. Did you see that?
Jelly Roll and
Post Malone
brought up AI?
because he has that song White Iverson.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So Allen Iverson came out on stage, gave him a big hug.
Oh, they didn't sing White Iverson with him?
I don't believe so. I think
No?
he just hugged him.
Oh.
But a pretty good music weekend here in the city.
It was. But you
and I were down the shore.
Sure. So, what are you going to do?
A little disappointed.
Can't do everything. Sellout crowd, both nights, Jen?
Yes.
Yeah?
I believe. Yes.
It looked it on
Yeah,
the
it was
social
packed.
media.
I was at the link.
Sold out the Link.
Yeah, twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Man,
And,
that's impressive.
Limp Bizkit opened Friday and Pantera opened Sunday.
The last time I remember something like that was the Dave Matthews Band at Veterans Stadium.
Sold out three nights in a row.
65,000 people, three
Yeah.
nights in a row.
Well, no, after that, Taylor Swift sold out the Link, didn't she, a few times?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
so that happened.
Tag's at a different level.
A year or two ago. Yeah, but I mean, I would expect that from Metallica. I'm just disappointed. Like, when you have these legendary musical acts that come through, I feel like you got to do something. You got to get there. Because you never know how many more opportunities do you have to see Metallica.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would like a venue like that though. I think my days at that venue are gone.
They played in the round on the 50-yard line.
They did?
It was cool.
Yeah, the videos looked awesome that I saw on social. Wait, so you were there on Friday night, you said?
Yes.
In the round.
In the round.
In the
You
round.
used to be at the round, the Valley Forge Music Fair. Remember that?
No.
No, the Valley Forge. You don't remember that? It wasn't that long ago. Stop it.
Rodney's nodding his head over.
Valley Forge Music Fair played in the round all the time. It was an indoor venue at near King of Prussia.
Nah, don't remember.
Come on, man. Rodney, our engineer's the only one here knows about the in the round.
Nah, you're going
That's ridiculous.
maybe too far
Go,
back.
Do your research on that.
I will.
Forge-
Look, my battery died on my
Your
computer. I got to get my charger.
All right,
But it's
hold on.
over.
I'll go do the research on that. It's not that long ago.
Yeah.
Valley Forge Music Fair.
Ray, I'm surprised that you didn't go to any of these concerts this weekend. I guess Memorial Day weekend was too important down the shore.
Yeah, beach weekend for me. Memorial Day weekend's just too much of a kind of locked into the calendar that I'm going to be down there.
Now, you told us earlier at the bar, a man yelled across the bar to talk to you about me. Any young ladies yelling for Ray Dunn down there?
We have to be honest on our break times. You know what? I think we should probably take this one now.
Valley Forge Music Fair was in Devon, Pennsylvania, and it closed in 1996. That's not that long ago.
No, but I was 13 in 96, so I didn't have an opportunity to go to concerts
Nah,
there.
but you heard about it. You just think like you weren't born. Like history doesn't apply to you.
I know about the Devon Horse Show. I've been to that.
The Devon Horse Show is older than the damn music fair.
I actually went to the Devon Horse Show.
Okay, so you know about the Devon Horse Show.
I do. But I don't know about the Valley Forge music.
You know who I saw at the Valley Forge Music Fair in the round? Dan Fogelberg.
Wait, is he?
Jen knows Dan Fogelberg.
Wait, he has that song around Christmas time.
Yes.
Right? We met a lover at the supermarket.
No, but he's got other songs that are popuble.
But that's his most famous.
No, it's not his most famous.
How's that song go, Jen? The one in the supermarket. Saw my old lover at the grocery store. Right? Isn't that him?
Yeah, that's the
Really
Christmas
good,
song.
Bill.
Yeah.
Really good.
That's not bad.
That is a good song.
That song is sad, though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what's funny is we're doing this now in front of a live audience. They all just looked up like, who the hell is singing Dan Fogelberg?
The leader of the band with one of his songs. You don't remember that song, do you?
Leader of the pack?
The leader of the band. That was a pop song that he did. He was good. He died. I think he died. Dan Fogelberg.
I don't have my computer to research any of this stuff.
I can't believe that, man.
So I do have nice chicken, though. Did you see this? Chicken breast and salad. I'm about to hit that up at the break.
Yeah, he died in 2007 at age 56. Sad. Cancer. All right, anyway. Dan Fogelberg. This show can go anywhere. 610-632-0975. We'll get back to our text board. And we got Warren from Cherry Hill checking in, so hang on for that. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
OTAs open today. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles open up OTAs today, first of 6 days over the next 2 weeks, where they've got the team together. This will be our first look at Kevin Tulo's the offensive coordinator, chance to get some injury updates and a look at the position battles. We should hear from some members of the Eagles organization coming up later on this week. Tonight, the Phillies welcome the Braves to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game set. Phillies 34-19 own the best record in the National League after a 6-1 road trip. The Braves enter at 25-27 on the season and have struggled mightily on the road so far this year, 9-18 away from home this year. Tonight's game is at 6:45. The pitching matchup is between Spencer Strider and Ranger Suarez. Today, Mike and Bill are live from the Union League Liberty Hill Golf Course for the Montco Golf Classic. Stay tuned as they continue to take you through everything going on there. This update is brought to you by Discover. Do you know what's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide? If you guess Discover, you guess right, based on the February 2024 Nielsen Report. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA playoff basketball, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It's 12:25 on the Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, so this big golf tournament here is start. There's a buddy Mike coming over here. You're a freeloader. Everybody is playing in the annual Monco Golf Classic here. It's open to everybody at the Liberty Hill Golf Course, which is a private track. And I was telling people that there are 52 golf courses, public and private, in Montgomery County. I think that would make Montgomery County the most scenic county in eastern PA. You would think?
Maybe.
I think it might be the biggest county, and I think it's the most countryish.
Yeah, I mean, you are a little biased because...
No, I was raised in Bucks County.
Raised in Bucks,
lower Bucks County is not scenic, but upper Bucks it is. It's really beautiful. But I think Monco has the most land space as far as country. But in any event,
you would think with 300,000 yards of golf course.
Yeah. Here are the courses that you can play that are private through Destination Monco Golf, which is I'm learning this for the first time today. So Commonwealth National Golf Club, it's a private course. You can play it through Monco Golf. Flowertown Country Club, Gulf Mills Country Club, Indian Valley Country Club, Lulu Country Club, Old York Road Country Club, Philadelphia Country Club, which is breathtakingly beautiful, Sandy Run Country Club, Squires Golf Club, Sunnybrook Golf Club.
Well, you could play all these through this?
Yes, and White Marsh Valley.
Wow.
Which I wasn't aware.
Those are some really quality courses.
Yeah, so
right
it's
there.
Destination Montgomery Golf. That's how you get involved in that. Just go to the website. Montco, let's see. Montgomery County. I'll get the website for you here. Hold on a second.
Did you play a bunch of those courses?
Yes, I have played a lot of those courses.
Have you played Lulu?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm supposed to get out to Lulu. And
Oh, yeah? Who do you know at
canceled.
Lulu?
I know a couple people over there.
Oh, look at you.
But, yeah, it's supposed to be a really good course.
Yeah, it's nice.
I think it's another, isn't that a William Flynn course
I think
as
you're
well?
right. I think it is a William Flynn course. All right, in any event, let's go to our phone lines and talk to Warren in Cherry Hill. Warren, can you punch Warren up there, Ray? Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Hey, Warren, what's happening?
Everybody, hope everyone had a great weekend and all the good in the world.
Thank you very much. Hope you did as well.
Absolutely. Got to ask you something. I want to thank you, especially Mike. I want to know what the vote would be. You said the word Jimmy's instead of that stupid sprinkles. I want to know, is it because I'm old or not? Because everybody goes sprinkles, and that's not what they are.
No, they're Jimmy's.
Yeah, Jimmy's the Philadelphia thing, I think.
You might call the colored ones, but, the red, the green, and blue. But, yeah, either way. I got to ask something. Yeah, that's all. I laugh. I don't. Let me ask you one more. Is it the itsy bitsy or the inky dinky spider?
It's the itsy bitsy spider.
I don't know about that one. All right. Anyway, the easiest thing to fix to me, and I'm so surprised, unless they don't want to make a call up and send it back down if it's a money thing, I would have just brought the two kids up. You're not overtaxing their arms. You would have found out by now if it was going to work. I don't want to take Suarez out of the rotation, especially because now he's pitching well. This guy's very good. He just has a limited amount of innings. I'm not messing with my starters. I would have brought these two kids up, see what they could do, rather than trade anybody yet. But now it's getting a little bit
Wait a
too
minute.
late.
So you're bringing up both your prospects to be bullpen pieces?
I'm not looking long term. You're looking to win the World Series. That's what you're looking for on a team that doesn't got that many years ahead of them from what it means.
I don't know, but here's what you're missing. Like when you're a bullpen guy, you got to throw a lot. You got to warm up a lot. It's a different level of stamina. These guys are reared to be starters. That will really mess up the routine, I think.
I've seen guys. Well, I can't argue. I don't know it like this. I just can't imagine that would be the case. I understand they throw a little more, but as a starter, you're throwing plenty also. There's guys who've done it in the major leagues. If not both, I would have given one a shot. They're waiting for a disaster, to be honest with you.
You think so? So you're not that confident right now, Warren?
Oh, listen, they were better than this last year after 50 games. I love them. I'm not complaining about the Phils. I'm just asking them to do something before it's too late. You beat up on the teams you're supposed to beat up. We'll see it with the Atlanta. We'll see it with everybody else coming up. I just need them ready for the end of the year. And the worst-case scenario, you keep saying we only need 4 stars in the playoffs. They had bullpen games in the playoffs. Make it other than Wheeler. I'm going to make my starters have less innings. I'm not going to attack them like this. I want them ready for the playoffs.
So what are you saying? 6-man rotation?
If you have to be, I'm skipping Suarez, and I'm going to find out what Nola can do. But whatever you have to do, get into the playoffs, have your team healthy, and win. Bone's looking good now. They badmouthed him. They torched him. Shouldn't have done that out loud. Now you can't get much from him. But the hitting's starting to come around. Harper, until recently, wasn't doing much. I just think that they're playing well. I'm not worried about 100 wins. That doesn't happen anymore. I don't see that they're that good to win 100. I think they can win the World Series, though.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they're a 100-win team. And, I know they're on a pace for that, right? But that pace also includes a tremendous record against teams that are below 500. So,
yeah, and they don't have to win 100 to win the division, though. I mean, I had predicted before the season 95. That's where I'm still
putting. You got them to win the division to 95.
I think so.
You have them winning a division.
I think they're going to win the division with 95 wins. But the caller talking about bringing up the 2 young guys, Painter and Abel, as much as I wouldn't mind that closer to October. I mean, he's saying do it now. You're not going to do that with Painter now. You're not bringing him up and putting him in the bullpen now and exposing him to that many days of use when he's coming back from the Tommy John. And then with Abel, doesn't that stifle his growth a little bit to put him in the pen now and not?
It's a risk. It's a risk when you got golden arms that you think could be part of your rotation for a long period of time. To make them bullpen pieces right now at their young age. Again, we're talking about you're going to put them in the cauldron of high leverage situations that you're trying to win something. I don't know if I could trust that.
And I also look at Mick Abel. If they do have to trade him, you're handling it the right way now. You had him come up. He started one game. Couldn't have gone better. Right? Sets a franchise record for strikeouts in his first outing. Now he goes back down to AAA, and he's pitching well down there. He's going to have value. You bring him up and you put him in the pen. I don't know. Does that ruin his value a little bit if you tried to trade him at the deadline?
I don't know. I think that they would know this would be a temporary thing. But the cost of it being a temporary thing, I don't know what that would be. Like to me, that's pretty risky to put a guy in the bullpen. Now maybe. When it comes playoff time, where they're not going to have to throw a lot. Like if you do it early in the season, you're talking about a different thing.
Yeah.
If you think that those guys can help you in the bullpen in playoff time, I know that's risky because you just know tomorrow, when the playoffs happen. But at least the taxing on their arm would not be there.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about the taxing on the arm. But yeah, can they handle it? Have never done it before, and now have to come in a playoff situation and try to do it. I mean, that's why maybe you see what happens at the deadline. Well, when's the trade deadline, right? Do we know when that is? Is that July?
July 31st, I believe.
So I guess depending on what you can get, if you could do it in the end of August, right?
Painter's a guy you don't do it with. Abel, maybe you do it with. Abel is slightly lesser of a prospect. He's pitching well now. Maybe he can handle something like that short term. Painter, I would not even risk it.
Now, I said I think they're going to win 95 and win the division, and I'm already seeing it in the YouTube chat saying that doesn't mean anything. Look at what happened last year, and Ray has put this on the show sheet before. Do you care about the Phillies winning the division? Because the year they get to the World Series, they're a wild card team.
Yeah,
last year they get the bye, which I was in support of, saying, no, I want to see them get the bye, and it doesn't help them at all.
No, the teams that win the division haven't fared that well, to be honest with you. But I still like it. I still like the rest part of it. I know a lot of people say, the rest is what kills you. The bye is what guy. I would rather have that than not.
And you could set up your rotation the way you want.
So I would take my chances. I would rather win a division than not.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
All right, 610-632-0975. Bill, I want you to make a case. We'll switch it to football a little bit. The Eagles last year, because Saquon Barkley said this, being a top 5 team of all time.
Yes,
Can you make the case for that?
I made the case on Friday when you weren't here. I want to make it for you. See if you agree.
All right, 610-632-0975. Back after this.
We want to hear from you. So text us at 610-63.
12:39. Mike Missanelli Show. Have a little nosh. During commercials, it's tough. It's tough to get down some nosh.
Yeah, we don't have that much time. What do you got?
I got
burger?
a burger. I got some baked beans, which I can't resist. You a baked bean man? You're not a baked bean man, are you?
Baked beans, they're good for your heart. The more you eat, the better they are for you.
Yeah. You're not a baked bean man.
No, I like baked beans.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I don't mind.
And potato salad, which I'm suggesting doesn't have eggs.
You got to hope it doesn't have eggs.
I
think I told you on Saturday when I went to your house, the wife and I got chicken salad at a deli down the shore, and as I'm eating it, I go, Mike would lose his mind. There was egg whites in it.
Why would they do that? That's the thing I don't understand.
I liked it, but I know you would freak out over it.
Why would they do it? What's the point of it?
Because most people are normal and like eggs.
Most people. Here's the thing: I'll laud McDonald's for. They charge cheaper prices without the egg in the Egg McMuffin.
Yeah, you like that.
I think they're Americana.
I was telling my mother your egg issues.
Yeah.
And she agrees. She says at McDonald's she gets the sausage biscuit with no egg.
Okay, there you go, and it's less.
Yeah, but
they
that just
at
seems
least
like
figure it out. That's an extra cost for the egg. Like eggs aren't free, so if you take the egg away, you should reduce the price.
I agree with you on that, and I felt your pain when I had to get you a breakfast sandwich after I lost the bet.
There you go.
You said you wanted to switch gears to football, but
switch gears to football.
Before I make the case for the top 5 team of all time, the Eagles are back on the practice field today.
Yes,
so,
OTAs. Right?
So they start their OTAs. So a lot of people ask, like, what's that mean? So this is phase 3 of the off-season program. Here's what they're allowed to do. No live contact is allowed, but they are able to do 11 on 11, just non-contact. So with the Eagles, I'm hoping that we'll get some clarity as far as who's in the front-runner spot for that other cornerback position. Because remember, Slay leaves, his backup Isaiah Rodgers leaves. Who's the starting corner opposite Quinyon Mitchell? I don't think it's going to be Cooper DeJean. I think they'll keep him in the nickel. And who's going to take over for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? Is it Sidney Brown? He'll probably get the first-team reps to start.
Yeah.
But then that Drew Makuba that they drafted, we'll see how. So maybe you get a little bit of a tell there.
All right, so the question is, listen, in Vegas, they're supposed to repeat. They're the odds-on favorite.
They are, which is not easy to do, but yes.
It's not, but they are obviously, in Vegas, the best team in the league. Are they still the best team in the league? And is that team last year, which was the best team in the league, one of the top 5 teams in history, as what Saquon Barkley said?
Yeah, so Saquon went on Cooper DeJean and Reed Blankenship's podcast, said top 5 team of all time. I went and looked at the numbers, and I laid out some of these on Friday. I'll lay out for you, where I think it's hard to disagree with Saquon Barkley, and I don't think this is just recency bias. So the 2024 Eagles won 18 games. That is the most ever in the history of the National Football League. The 07 Patriots won 18, but they didn't win the Super Bowl. The 85 Bears won 18. The 84 Niners won 18. Now, I get it. You play more games now than they did. You played 17 games. They only played 16. But no matter how you slice it, 18 wins is 18 wins. They won 16 of their final 17 games. The only one they lost, Jalen Hurts gets hurt. They had the most points ever in the playoffs, the most rushing yards ever in a single season. They were a plus 68 point differential in the playoffs, which is the best since 2002. They were a plus 50 in the NFC Championship in the Super Bowl, which is the best since 2000. They were a plus 12 turnover differential throughout the playoffs, second best ever. They set a conference championship record with 55 points, and they're only the second team since the 1970 merger to finish the season with a number 1 defense and the rushing champion, tying the 92 Cowboys. When you look at this team and what they did after the bye week, I agree with Saquon, top 5 of all time. I don't think it's recency bias. I don't think it's being a homer. I think when you objectively look at this team, they were flat out dominant following the bye and throughout the playoffs. Now, you have lived through a lot of these teams. Because when you talk top 5, I'll throw out some of them to you. You tell me where the Eagles ranked compared to them.
Okay.
First one that jumps to everyone's mind is the 1972 Dolphins, who were undefeated.
Yeah, that's too far. It goes back too far where the league wasn't as good.
Man, I got to tickle
like today the league is at its peak.
Well, I say this too. Like, the 2024 Eagles, if you line them up to the 72 Dolphins, they would dominate them because the NFL has just evolved. But you got to look at it through the lens of at the time, right? So the 72 Dolphins in their time compared to this one. But you don't want to go back that far, so I'll throw out this one. The 85 Bears. Because that's another team that won 18 games.
Tough to beat.
15-1. Their defense was
tough to beat.
Insane, dude. So they had here's what's crazy. Everyone remembers that defense being first in points allowed, first in yards allowed. They only gave up 10 points throughout the playoffs. They also were number 2 in offensive scoring. Did you know that?
You know, that gets underplayed, and people don't remember that their offense was any good. In fact, they think that it was the defense, and to a large extent it was. Because they really had a quarterback who wasn't that great. McMahon wasn't that great. He made some plays. They had a really fleet wide receiver in Willie Galt, and they had Walter Payton. And so everything ran through that. So it was good enough to get by. I wouldn't call them the overly powerful offense that those numbers would indicate. So, but the defense was so good. And then you look at the Eagles' defense and say, well, that was so good, and their offense was better. Maybe you can make the case that they were even better than the Bears team. But I would say no, they were not as good as that team. That team was just flat out ferocious to play.
And I don't remember it. I was only 2 at the time, but obviously I've read about them. I've seen highlights and all that. I just can't get past Jim McMahon versus Jalen Hurts. Like, Jim McMahon is their quarterback. As good as they were, as dominant as the defense was, Walter Payton, all these things. Jim McMahon is the quarterback of the greatest team ever?
You can make the case. Hurts was much better than Jim McMahon. Saquon Barkley, for at least last year, was as good as Walter Payton ever was.
Yeah.
And Willie Galt, who was a track star, really, who converted into a football player, probably doesn't have the acumen that A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith have. So you might be able to make that case.
But the case Saquon made was top 5. So even if I give you the Bears.
I would think that you could make them top 5. Again, you want to go back to 72 with the Dolphins when football was so much slower?
It was a different game. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the players on that team. You had Larry Zonka, Mercury Morris, Bob Greasy was the QB. But it is the only perfect season.
I'm talking about the exciting whites. That's why they were in the defensive backfield, Miami Dolphins were back then.
Different.
The exciting whites.
Yeah, a lot different.
Yeah, white cornerbacks back then.
Yeah, that's unheard of in today's NFL outside of Cooper DeJean. But then there's another one that I want to throw out to you because one of the issues, Andrew DiCecco was here with us on Friday, and he threw out 2 teams, and neither one of them had won the Super Bowl. He was talking about the 07 Patriots and the 2013 Denver Broncos. I think as good as the 07 Patriots were, or even the 13 Broncos, if you didn't win the Super Bowl, I don't think you should be considered as one of the greatest teams of all time.
I agree. Although, winning a Super Bowl is sometimes guys get on a roll. Some teams get on a roll, and they play better than they play in the regular season.
But that 07 Patriots team, with Brady throwing 50 TDs, Randy Moss, 23 touchdown catches, they had Wes Welker. I mean, that team was pretty damn good, but they ultimately did not win the Lombardi, so I don't consider them.
All right, can I agree to that? Yeah, I'll agree with it. They're a top 5 team of all time.
There's some others,
in your lifetime, you saw the Philadelphia Eagles team that was one of the top 5 of all time. Best team ever, by the way, right? Best team ever that you've ever seen.
In Philadelphia,
in Philadelphia, in your lifetime, and one of the top 5 of all time. That's pretty high. That's lofty.
And one of the texters had texted in, and you can answer this one if you want after the break, but say I texted in and said, not only maybe the top 5 team of all time, certainly the most impressive team building because they did it in a salary cap era.
Oh, team building with Howie Roseman and expertly coached.
Because the 85 Bears, no salary cap. No salary cap. 1994 is when the salary cap was introduced.
So the coach of one of the top 5 teams ever, if not top 3, is Nick Sirianni.
Hit us with it, Bray.
So much good.
610-632-0975. That's how you get into the Mike Missanelli Show. We'll get back to our text board after this.
Fanatic Sports News Update.
OTAs open up today. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles open up OTAs today, the first of 6 days. Over the next 2 weeks, we'll have the team together. First look at Kip Patullo's the offensive coordinator. Chance to get some injury updates, look at the position battles. We'll hear from Patullo tomorrow at 12:05 as he will address the media. And tonight on the Fanatic at 6 o'clock, Andrew DeCecco with a special Birds Insider breaking down all the storylines you want to follow as we head into OTAs. Tonight, the Phillies welcome the Braves to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game set. Phillies 34-19 are the best record in the National League after a 6-1 road trip. The Braves are at 25-27 on the season, have struggled on the road so far this year, 9-18 on the road. Tonight's game is at 6:45. The pitching matchup between Spencer Strider and Ranger Suarez. Tonight, also the NBA playoffs. We have it for you right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Game 4 between the Pacers and the Knicks. Can the Knicks tie the series at 2, or will Indiana go back to New York with a 3-1 lead? We'll find out tonight. 7:30 pregame coverage begins right here on 97.5 The Fanatic, followed by the live broadcast of The Call. This update brought to you by the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. The 2025 FIFA Club World Cup is coming to Philadelphia. Get ready for a global soccer showdown at Lincoln Financial Field. Don't just watch history, be there. Get tickets at FIFA.com/tickets. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
12:55. Mike Missanelli Show. Looks like all the golfers have gone to the tee.
Is it a scramble? Did you confirm?
I did not. Probably is.
Yeah, probably a scramble.
It's a scramble. Jen knows. Jen, you want to play? Go ahead. Oh, okay. She just told you. Yeah, this is really nice out here.
This is a beautiful place, man. Beautiful
You
place.
should join. A man of your stature should be joining the Union League.
Yeah.
And inviting your friend Mike to play 3 times a year at all the Union League courses.
Yeah, I wish, man. You know how expensive kids are. You have one. I got 3 now, man.
The kid
going
excuse.
broke.
It's the kid thing again, Ray.
God knows
Believe
what.
this?
God knows what college tuition will be by the time my kids are in college.
Keep the holster keep the gun in the holster, and you won't have to worry about that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, TMI. My wife's already mad at me that we released her medical history on the air.
Well, we really didn't. Oof. It was like a little amusing type of thing.
No, I don't think she was listening. I just got a text like an hour after that said, "Did you really release my medical history on the air?" I'm like, nah.
Yeah, now everybody has their little things. Like I got like 14 maladies that we can discuss, but
she doesn't care. She knows I'm an open book, so by default,
you are
so is
totally
she.
An open book, but of course, the people didn't hear. Bill confused narcolepsy with epilepsy. So
nobody's surprised.
So that's
Bill. After you told that story, we got tagged on Twitter by someone saying they still don't understand how I was able to graduate law school.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, law school has nothing to do with general knowledge.
Yeah, it's all shtick.
You just stick your nose in the book and you can get through law school.
It's all shtick.
All right, so a little football note here. Shedeur Sanders in the news again. Did you see this?
I did not. What happened?
He got a $500,000 bonus to sign, and he bought a custom-rolled Rolls Royce worth over $500,000.
Oh my God!
and people are accusing him of being focused more on his car than his team. And he said, another lie. I'm focused on my team, not a car purchase. And yet he bought himself a custom Rolls worth over $500K.
Yeah, he's not understanding the optics of this stuff. Like, of course he can afford it with who his father is and all that, but it's the optics. You want to come in. The way you handled the pre-draft process turned a lot of people off. Now you get drafted late, a lot later than anyone ever anticipated, and you're coming in trying to win over your teammates.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's sending the right message.
Yeah, now Tom Brady ripped him on a podcast saying, I think he needs to get his ass in the film room and spend as much time in there as possible and less time in the car and more time in the film room.
Oh, Brady's usually
how about that?
A little reserved,
yeah.
too.
Anyway, he said Sanders then rebutted he had seen Brady had a Rolls, too. And Brady wrote back, I had a few bucks in my pocket at that point.
Well, yeah, I doubt Brady bought it when he got drafted. I doubt Brady didn't buy it for many years.
See, when you get a guy like Shedeur Sanders, this is what you're in for. You know, you think it's going to stop here? The whole thing is going to. That's why people didn't want to draft him.
Yeah,
it's an ongoing Instagram story.
Well, and the problem is look, there were some rumors that the Eagles were interested in drafting Shedeur Sanders, and that's why Cleveland leapfrogged them. I think the Eagles have said that wasn't, in fact, the case. And I didn't want to see them draft Sanders. But when you have a team like the Eagles, who have a strong culture, you could probably bring in a guy like Shedeur, and it's not going to have that big of an impact. Does Cleveland really have the stature of a team where you could bring in a Shedeur Sanders and mix it in with everything else that you're dealing with? You already drafted the other quarterback. You still have Deshaun Watson. I just don't know if the Cleveland is the best situation for Shedeur. He may have needed a stronger
best situation for him, unless he gets to be a starting quarterback and a star. There's always going to be this pull down with him and his personality and with Dion. All right, it's the Mike Missanelli Show. It's 97.5 The Fanatic. You're listening to WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station. And we're broadcasting today outdoors. We're broadcasting right from the golf course, Liberty Hill Golf Course in Lafayette Hill, a beautiful Union League course where there's an outing today, the annual Montco Golf Classic. And again, Montgomery County, a premier golf destination in the Philadelphia region, home to 52 public and private courses, some of the most scenic and historic in Pennsylvania.
Yep, pretty sweet, man.
All right. I was watching a show last night. I want to discuss this with you to see how you would have reacted. It's a story you probably know something about. This is a woman named Sherry Papini who faked her kidnapping several years ago.
I did not. That's what
you got to know. There's been a couple documentaries on it. I was watching one last night, which is the newest documentary on it. She caused this manhunt that she was missing.
Oh, you know what? I think I didn't recognize the name, but I think I know the story.
Yeah, so she's this pretty blonde from California, and the husband was frantic, and they suspected he had something to do with her disappearance, that he may, in fact, have even killed her. And then 21 days later, she returns and found on the highway, waving down a car with broken chains around her and beaten up and branded. And she said that she was kidnapped by 2 Hispanic women and kept hanging in a closet.
Yeah, I remember this story.
You remember this story?
Yeah.
All right. So she sticks to this story even after she's recovered. Now, they interview her, and they present all this evidence that she faked this whole thing. It was a hoax, that she actually was hanging out with her ex-boyfriend and had her ex-boyfriend put the brand on her shoulder with a wood-burning set.
Ooh.
So she took it to the extreme, and it was all spilled out in this interrogation room. The husband, unbeknownst to the husband, this all comes out in front of the husband. Meanwhile, he's got her back the whole time. He's so glad that she's back and she survived this great ordeal. And it comes out that it's a total lie in the interrogation room. What is Bill's move as a husband at that point?
Oh, man. I didn't know that's where we were going.
That's where we're going. Bill, you hear that. There it is. You're in the interrogation room. You're supporting your wife through this kidnapping ordeal. These 2 Hispanic women who don't exist. And she was shacked up with her boyfriend. And the reason why they found this out, that on her sweatpants, there was the DNA of another man.
Man.
So there was no indication of Hispanic women. There was DNA of another man in her sweatpant area. And you find out all this is revealed
in the interrogation
room.
In front of the police.
In front of the police and the husband. If you're the husband, what's your move?
Yeah, I'm out, dude. I'm just getting up and being like, all right, whatever you guys need to do, I'm out of here.
And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he should have.
He got up and walked out of the room.
Yeah, I think that's what I think a majority of people would do that if they found that out about their spouse.
Now, this is a sick woman, obviously. So, for better or for worse, you wouldn't stick by her. She's obviously got mental issues.
For better or worse.
For her to go through this kind of an ordeal and plan the whole thing out the way she planned, she's got mental issues, correct?
You would think, yeah.
Now, they have kids. They have young kids together.
Yeah, that's the hard part. They have 2 young kids. Wait, now this documentary you're watching, is it just a one-part or is it many parts?
I think it was a 2-parter. It was on OWN last night. I was watching it. But I've seen documentaries. This was a new one because they had her, she had the guts to face the camera to try to make excuses for herself on why she did this.
Yeah, that's. I got to watch this, but yeah, I'm out, man.
You're out.
What would you do?
It would stun me. I would. I don't know what I would do. I would never carry on a relationship. That would be I don't know what I would do at the moment.
Yeah, I think I would just get up and walk out. What's the aftermath now? What's going on now?
Oh, he's out, and she served prison time for lying to the FBI.
Oh, I'm reading this here. So she admitted everything.
She had lied to the FBI, and so she was convicted on lying to the FBI and served prison time.
Wow, yeah, 18 months in prison in order to pay $310,000 in restitution.
Yeah, because they had all these resources trying to find her.
Yeah, to cover the multi-state police investigation. Wow. $310K. Good.
Now, would you pay that for her?
No.
See, this is your wife now.
But that's the problem.
$310,000. She doesn't have $310,000. She's living through you. She's not working. You got kids. Do you want the mother to suffer, or would you pay the $310,000?
Yeah, that's interesting, man. That becomes a really deep analysis for this.
It's very deep. That's why I brought it up, Bill.
Yeah, this is
very deep. What would you do? What would you do?
I'm glad that you're putting me on the spot about all this, and you just don't have to answer any of these questions.
I might say, sorry, got to get a job.
So somebody on the YouTube chat saw her picture and said, "I can fix her."
she's a pretty blonde, California blonde, right? She's got big horse teeth, but besides that, she's pretty blonde.
But that is just a wild story, man.
All right, 610-632-0975. We'll come back. We got Paul from Stamford, Connecticut hanging on. We'll get to him. We'll get to our text board comments. And if you have any opinion on Sherry Papini, we'll hear that on the text board as well. We're back after this.
Tuesday, May 27th.
Missanelli Show at the annual Montco Golf Classic, where the people are on the course right now. Beautiful Liberty Hill Golf Course in Lafayette Hill, the Union League property. Union League. We had the CEO of the Union League on, Jeff McFadden, and we worked a deal where we're maybe going on one of these courses.
Yeah, let's make that happen. I'd like to play this. I've played this one, and I've played the one down the shore. I've never played Torresdale.
I used to play that when it was Frankfurt Torresdale.
Good course?
The greens are impossible.
What do they look fast
just
or
fast and undulating and downhill and crazy? They're the toughest greens I've ever played.
Yeah, these greens are tough. The one down the shore. Did you play the one down the shore yet?
I did.
Yeah, those greens are tough too. That's an interesting, really interesting course. That way they moved tons of sand there to make it angulate and all that.
It used to be sand barrens, which I hated.
Yeah,
because all they did was put in waste areas of sand instead of actually growing a course.
Yeah, and they've done a
I have
really
no
good
respect
job.
for that, Bill. I mean, you're filling a golf course with sand waste areas.
Now, the one down the shore is 27 holes, so I've only played 18 of them. I didn't get to play the other 9.
Yeah, that 9 was under construction the last time, but it's apparently it's all done now. All right, let's go to the phones. We got Paul in Stamford, Connecticut, checking in. Let me see if I can get my cursor there. Paul, how you doing this morning, this afternoon?
Michael, it's a pleasure. Michael, I'm
My
in Stamford,
pleasure.
Connecticut. I'm from Philadelphia. I lived in Philadelphia my whole life. I moved here 6 years ago. So obviously I got to put up with the entire New York market and all the nonsense and everything else. They hate us. They hate Philadelphia. But at the same time,
and Bill hates them too. Bill hates New York fans. We pretty much hate New York fans up here too, down here.
For one moment, I just want to tell you, I've been listening to you on Sports Talk from the time you started, from the time you ever started in Sports Talk Radio. And if they had a Hall of Fame, they should put you on it. That's how much respect.
Thank you. It's so nice of
The
you.
only reason, the one thing I appreciate that, and the one thing I called more than anything, being from this area, first of all, 2 things. When Saquon Barkley left the Giants and went to Philadelphia, it destroyed the New York market because they couldn't get over the fact that Saquon would go to Philadelphia and couldn't do more than just won the Super Bowl, and it was phenomenal. But you had brought up a point of you were talking about Shedeur Sanders, and you and I both know Shedeur Sanders never, ever stood a chance to ever come to Philadelphia with Howie Roseman. He doesn't fit the culture. And the fact that you said that he goes out and buys a $500,000 Bentley tells you that this guy is not, he's going to have a hell of a hard time.
Well, it's a Rolls, not a Bentley.
In Cleveland.
Yeah, it's a Rolls. Listen, it's a Rolls Royce.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a Rolls
That's
Royce.
okay. But he's been brought up in the Hollywood lights of football. I mean, let's face it. His father was that Hollywood light type of player, and so he's assumed that same type of personality. But he's a younger, more spoiled child, so he's even got it more.
Right, but Michael, you and I both know it's a bad look for him to go to Cleveland. The people in Cleveland, they're laborers, they're hard workers.
Yeah, they are. It's a
You know
blue
what I'm
collar
saying to you?
town.
It's just a bad look. And the fact that the way he was picked in the draft tells you, like all of a sudden he shows up in Cleveland and he's buying, as you said, a Rolls Royce. It's not going to sit well with the city of Cleveland.
I don't know. What she
I don't know
bought?
what's going to happen with this
What
guy.
should he have bought? Like, if I'm thanks Warren for the call. If I'm him, I get the bonus was smaller than what I normally would get, right?
Yeah.
So you go out and you buy something right away. He just exhausted the whole bonus in the one thing.
Yeah, and we had someone come at us on social media, on Twitter, saying, since when is buying nice things a bad thing?
No, it's not.
And it's saying it's crazy how in our capitalistic society, people are using how he spends his money to slander him. And I think what that Twitter poster is missing the point here. When you are drafted to come into the NFL and you were taken a lot later than anyone thought that you would be taken because of the way you carried yourself, because of some of the things that you said about how you're going to come in and you're going to change the entire culture and all that. If you're trying to win that locker room over and you're trying to win those teammates over to be a leader, to be a franchise quarterback, I just think you have to be a little bit more self-aware that going out and buying a $500,000 car and showing up to the first day of OTAs in it, it just sends the wrong message. Just spend your money any way you want.
I don't know. I have different feelings about it. I brought that story up because he used the whole bonus to buy one thing, right? If I'm a kid, listen, let's face it, that kid hasn't had to worry about money in a really long time.
No, because
not always
the
brought
deal.
up, but because of the money he made in college, the whole bit. he made more than $500,000 at Colorado.
Oh, I'm sure with his NIL.
Yeah, the NIL. I mean, he had to be worth close to $10 million. So for him to spend $500,000 on a Rolls Royce, I really don't think is. Maybe in Cleveland, it doesn't work because he's not the starting quarterback. Like, he's not coming in as the be-all, end-all. He was taken behind a little midget quarterback, or a little person.
Yeah,
quarterback.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're coming into a
he's not even a little person. He's just smaller in stature, is what I really mean.
But if you're coming into a franchise, no matter what sport, I mean, we could be talking about any sport: baseball, football, hockey, basketball. I just think that it sends the wrong message to your teammate or has an ego, all these things. And even if it's not true, I just think you want to present yourself a little bit differently as you're trying to win over your teammates and not to buy a $500,000 car and show up to camp that way. I don't know. I think it sends the wrong message.
All right. Well, let me get – hey, Ray, does that send the wrong message?
So I'm doing some digging here just on this thing because I'm wondering how it didn't hit my timeline. And I've rolled through a little bit of this. Sanders, both Shador and Dion have pushed back on the fact that this was, I know you mentioned him saying lies. Dion also said it was lies. The video that's circulated with this Rolls Royce is apparently Shador's on the phone with Deion Sanders Jr. as this is being delivered to the Sanders residence. And he's heard saying on that video that it's pretty cool. So there's not necessarily firm evidence to say that this is his Rolls Royce. He did have one when he was in college, and that was where the quote came from Tom Brady, because that was a 2023 quote from Tom Brady talking to Deion Sanders on a podcast about the fact that, hey, maybe when you have money to your name, then you go get the Rolls Royce. Listen,
so he had a Rolls in college?
I guess that's the case. He made reportedly $6.5 million in NIL money while he was in college. So he's doing much better in college than he's doing in the NFL right now.
He had to make. Even if it's his, like I don't know if I have a problem with it, because guys that have money that have to live a certain way, like he's not going to buy a Nissan, he's going to buy something that where it's with his stature. He's got stature. He's got the Sanders name. He had the glam quarterback career in college. Everybody talked about him. He's got that kind of stature. It's almost like commonplace that he would buy something like that.
I understand it, and that's why I'm saying, though, and maybe he didn't mean to publicize it, like Ray's saying, maybe it's something that just leaked out there. I would just think that when you're entering the NFL and there's going to be veterans on that team that maybe have been in the NFL for a few years and they can't afford that type of car, I just don't know if it's the best message to send to your teammates if you come in and act like you've already made it before you've even practiced once. And I get it, it's from his father and all that, and maybe he didn't mean to broadcast it. See, I thought like this was something he's posting about, but it sounds like this was more leaked, Ray. That's what you're saying?
I think it's his siblings that are posting it, and his voice being in the video. Shador, pretty much if you post anything with Shador Sanders' name on it right now, you're going to go viral. It's the Dov Klymans and the, Ari Myrovs, those accounts.
That's what I mean. So it's like, to me, this is not even like a blip. I just brought it up because I thought it was interesting. He spent the whole wad on that. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
OTAs open up today. I'm Ray Duns. Fanatic Sports Update is brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with Bet365. Download the app today. The Eagles open up OTAs today, the first of 6 days of the next 2 weeks. They have a team together. This will be our first look at Kevin Patullo as the offensive coordinator, chance to get some injury updates, and look at the position battles. We'll hear from Patullo tomorrow at 12:05 as he addresses the media. Also tonight, you get a chance to hear from Andrew DeCecco on our Airwaves Birds Insider at 6 o'clock. A special OTAs look at the team, some of the storylines going into Phase 3 of the offseason. Tonight, the Phillies welcome the Braves to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game set. The Phillies 34-19 on the best record in the National League after a 6-1 road trip. The Braves enter at 25-27 on the season and have struggled on the road, 9 of 18 this season away from home. Tonight's game is at 6:45. Pitching matchup between Spencer Strider and Rangers Suarez. And tonight, game 4 between the Pacers and the Knicks. Can the Knicks tie the series at 2? Will the Pacers take a 3-1 commanding lead? You can hear the live broadcast of the game right here on the Fanatic. Pre-game coverage for that one beginning at 7:30. This update is brought to you by WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private because your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even WhatsApp. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA playoff basketball, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
125, Mike Missanelli Show. You know, I'm so proud of myself, Phil. I know you came over to the crib over the weekend down the shore, and I was bragging about how I installed an electrical outlet.
And the house, thankfully, still standing.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, a GFCI for the people that know the outlets. GFCI.
Oh, yeah, I know what
that is.
That's the one that's got the breaker on it?
Yeah, it's got the little push button.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about that knowledge?
You got to turn off you hit the breaker, pull the thing out, get the wires out, get the old one out, put the new one in, redo the wires, stick it in there, screw it back in.
Good job. Good job by you.
Off of YouTube instruction, and my buddy Bob, who I called.
Right? Do you need a permit for that when you mess around with something like that?
Permit?
Oh,
no,
you're allowed to do that?
You're just putting in a new outlet.
I don't know.
I bet you Jen could do that. Jen, you can put it in a GFCI, right?
Yeah, she nodded, not even had to think twice about it.
But, I rarely venture into the electrical side.
Yeah, you showed me that. You showed me your power washer you had.
The power washer.
Mike loves to do stuff around the house.
Spackling. I did a little scraping and spackling of the drywall and painting over it.
Yeah, not
your thing.
Not my thing.
But I knew your father-in-law was down. I was going to call you.
Yeah, it's funny. My father-in-law, we wake up down the shore on, it was either Saturday or Sunday, and he's not there. Oh, where's he at? Oh, he took a ride to Home Depot. Like, even down the shore, he can't help himself. He's over at Home Depot.
What did he have to do?
I have no idea. He's always finding something to do.
Yeah. All right. 610-622-0975. Phillies with a big series. Okay, so let's recap a couple of losses. It's funny because when they lose, it's now, oh, really? Like they lost, and they lost to. That was a bad loss on Sunday to the A's, and then they barely survived with one of them. But let's look at Sunday's loss to the A's. They had a 4-3 lead in the eighth on a Trey home run, and then in the bottom of the eighth, Strom's in. It issues a 1-out walk, and then a triple to tie the game, and then a single, and the A's go up 5-4. Now, Romano on Friday, the Phils hung on, but they were up 4-0 into the ninth. He gave up a single, walk, got a strikeout, and then a 3-run bomb, and Banks had to come in and get him out of that inning, and they survived 4-3. So, again, we're talking about the bullpen as they come into a game against the Atlanta Braves tonight, and a series against the Atlanta Braves with Spencer Strider, Smith, Strauver, and Chris Sale pitching against them. The Phillies are 15-13 against teams that are 500 or better. They are 19-6 against everybody else to make up their 34-19 record. So how should we judge this? Should we judge this that they're a really good team, or they're a really good team until they play really good teams?
I think they're still a really good team, and I think that stat about them being 15-13 against teams above 500 is a little bit skewed because I think didn't the Mets sweep them? Right, I think the Mets swept them back in New York a month or two ago.
Okay,
so I think it's a little bit skewed, but as long as they're taking care of the teams that are in front of them, and they just won 9 games in a row, it's something to keep your eye on for sure. But I still think this team is very good, and when you have the starting pitching that they have, we know they can win a lot of games in the regular season. To your point, though, about the bullpen, I think that's something that needs to be addressed before October, whether it's with your abundance of starting pitching, whether it's through the trade deadline. It's probably going to be a combination of those two. I want to see that get fixed. But as far as the regular season goes, this is a team that's built to win a lot of games. So I'm not concerned about that. It's just, hey, if we want to go all in come October because we think the window's closing on this core, then Dombrowski's going to have to do something really that we haven't seen him do, which is have a great deadline. I don't think he's had any good deadlines.
I know all the success, and I know how they're a good team. I'm steadfast. I just can't get past the fact that they need to bring in one major bullpen piece for them to be considered a World Series championship contender. You can't do it with smoke and mirrors, and the back end of their bullpen, the high leverage end, is a little bit short. And I don't believe you can win if you're short there, because everybody else who's going to vie for that spot has power coming out of the pen.
Yeah, they do. And what makes this even harder now with the expanded postseason, we talked a little bit about this at the deadline last year. With the expanded postseason, a lot of teams think they still have a shot to make it. So are there going to be a lot of sellers at the deadline, or is there going to be more buyers, and if there's more buyers, then you're going to have to maybe overpay. Dombrowski's going to have to overpay to bring in that high leverage arm that you want. And I agree with you. They probably need it, but what are you going to give up to get it? You may have to sell the farm.
I don't know if they have to sell the farm, but they may have to give up one premier prospect to get him, and then you have to decide whether that's worth it. If I can say that they can't win without it, to me, then it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the bottom line is that you're not going to be able to win a World Series, unless you think they can with their current form. Do you actually think they can win a World Series with their bullpen in its current form?
Unlikely.
Okay.
I mean, possible,
if
sure.
your answer's unlikely,
yeah, unlikely.
You got no choice.
Yeah, in their current form. See, but I just keep looking at it as, and I do want to see Dombrowski make a move, but even if he doesn't make a single move at the deadline, and you have your 4 starters in the postseason as Wheeler, Sanchez, Luzardo, and Nola, that allows you to move Ranger to the pen. I can't believe I'm saying it, but Taijuan Walker in the pen. Maybe even have Andrew Painter or Mick Abel in the pen. So, I mean, there's going to be options in that bullpen that you don't have right now that are already here. They're just part of the starting rotation. I still want to see him make a move, but there is answers that are currently either on this roster or in the farm system.
All right. On another note, you're a big fan of the show Mobland, as am I. I the one turned you on to it.
Phenomenal
You
show.
saw the latest episode. I did not, because I can't even tell when the new episodes come out, for crying out loud. I think Sunday night it's supposed to be regular. Sometimes they don't come on Sunday night.
I think it's Mondays. I think
it's Monday?
I think so. But
It
yeah,
is.
the
It's
new one's
Monday.
out. The
okay,
new one is
so
out.
the new one is out. You saw it.
I watched it last night.
You know, Pierce Brosnan, who is the patriarch of the crime family, for the people that watch Mobland, I would suggest you do it because it's fantastic. He is getting ripped because of his, quote, appallingly bad Irish accent in Mobland. Now,
wait, he's from Ireland, isn't he?
I need an Irishman here. I need an Irishman. I'm looking for an Irishman.
Wait, hold on.
Like he is Irish.
But I think in the show he's supposed to be English. Is that what they're ripping him
no?
for?
He's Irish in the show.
Oh, I thought he was English in the show.
The gangsters are from Ireland who are set up in London.
Oh, okay.
All right, so it says, like on social media, Pierce Brosnan can't do an Irish accent. They should get a proper Irish actor in the role. And Pierce Brosnan's accent almost makes Mobland unwatchable. Surely they made him do that. And why? The bloke is Irish for bleep's sake. Well, he is Irish, but he says that this is a different brogue that he's used to as an Irishman.
Got it.
That it's just a Kerry brogue or something. I don't know, County Kerry. But I'm not Irish.
Yeah, I don't
When
hear
I listen to him, he sounds like an Irish gangster.
Yeah, he
right?
does.
So this is why I need an Irishman to say, what is wrong with his accent? Like, what am I missing?
Yeah, and clearly I couldn't answer it because I didn't even know he was playing an Irish gangster. I thought they were in England. So I'm out.
So a newspaper, and the Independent in London, said there's Brosnan's preposterous Irish brogue for starters. Even more inexplicable when you consider the man is Irish, an amalgamation of every terrible top of the morning to you impression you've ever heard, is what they're saying about him.
Oh, man.
I didn't think anything of the sort.
Either did I.
So I'm missing something. Say, what's wrong with it?
Now, Tom Hardy, who's also in Mobland and a part of that same crime family, is he supposed to be from England in that, or is he supposed to be Irish as well?
He's English.
Okay, because his accent's fine because he has an English accent.
I believe so. I really don't know. But this guy from the Irish Times called Brosnan's accent, quote, a horror for the ages. Wow. What is going on? Poor Pierce.
Look, we're not picking up on it, but I could see if maybe people were pretending to be from the Philadelphia area and butchering the accent, we would have problems with it, too.
Has he butchered it? He sounds like an Irish guy to me.
Yeah, but I guess you could say the same thing. Like, if this was a show that was playing in England about a Philadelphia mob family and they were doing a bad Philadelphia accent, people in England wouldn't know, but we would.
But do the majority of idiot Americans think he has a bad Irish accent that are watching this show?
It didn't cross my mind.
All right, 610-632-0975, back after this.
Andrew Salciunas.
139. No, I don't mean, it's probably not 139. Our clock's a little off, right? What time is it, right?
140.
It's 140.
Yeah, so it's basically
we're,
right.
So we're a minute. So my clock is wrong.
By about 30 seconds.
Okay. So how would I know how to get out at 154?
I will count you down.
Ray will count us down.
All right, Ray will count us down. Thanks, Ray. Here's a question I have for this new podcast that's being done by the Exciting Whites. Why isn't it called the Exciting Whites?
Yeah, they went with the Exciting Mics.
Yeah.
I guess.
Why is that? Well, it's the problem with the Exciting Whites. That's what they're called. And they are white.
Someone said there's already a podcast named The Exciting Whites.
Well, that
was you, right?
That was a guess.
Was that a guess by you, or you know that?
I didn't see, but I'm definitely going to guess that someone out there came up with the idea for Exciting Whites in the past 20 years of podcasts and said, yeah, I'll get that.
So was it guess?
It's a wine
Exciting
podcast.
Whites is, why,
Oh, there's a wine podcast called that?
Yes.
There's a wine podcast called Exciting Whites?
That's what I'm gathering from Google.
When you go to the liquor store, there's usually the sign that says Exciting Whites, and you could find the white wines.
No, I never saw a sign that said Exciting Whites. I saw a sign that said Whites.
No, they actually have been shared this on social media at times, pictures in the liquor stores showing Exciting Whites as a tribute to Cooper and Reed.
That's actually where the name came from.
Oh,
Yeah.
so in local liquor stores?
No. They got their nickname based off of that people refer to white wine sometimes as Exciting Whites, and that's like a sign in certain liquor stores.
Really?
Yes.
People refer to white wines sometimes as Exciting Whites?
Correct. And Ray, you're saying that's the name of the pod.
That.
That's
There
a podcast
was
as
a
well.
podcast. It looks like they have been inactive for, at this point, a year, but there was an Exciting Whites podcast that ran weekly by...
I guess, Ray, have you ever heard white wine being referred to as Exciting Whites?
Well, I knew the meme that launched the nickname.
Yeah. That's what it was all based on.
Yeah. There was other things that have been referred to in the past with the little meme of the picture of the Exciting Whites. It's like a fine wine and liquor store where they got the sign over top of the wine and it says Exciting Whites. And that picture had just been reused over time for a number of white athletes. And then it just kind of popped up for these two and kind of stuck. And now we got Exciting Mics.
Do they have signs that say Exciting Reds?
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it. I never saw it in person.
Why Exciting Whites and Reds are just as exciting. So why not Exciting Reds?
I don't know. That's just the
like
meme.
I prefer Reds.
It's just the meme.
It's just the meme.
Yeah.
All right. Anything on the text board, Ray?
Yeah, we do. We got some people chiming in on the Phillies pitching situation from earlier. Nola's done nothing this year to earn a spot in the playoff rotation. Unless he returns and pitches much better, I won't even consider using him in the postseason. You can't just give away games because you're afraid of hurting his feelings. Wheeler, Sanchez, Luzardo, Ranger, unless you trade Ranger.
So he would pass up Nola in a rotation in the playoffs?
He's saying he not only would pass him up in the rotation, he wouldn't even put him in the bullpen, right? You don't even want him on there.
Very disrespectful.
By the way, there's the sign.
Exciting Whites.
Exciting Whites next to the thing. So it was in a supermarket, apparently, and it's a meme, and then that's how it stuck.
Well, let me ask you this question. Why would you not buy regular whites? Once there's a sign that says Exciting Whites, it's like Tylenol. Like extra strength Tylenol and once there's an extra strength, why would you buy regular Tylenol? So why would you buy non-exciting whites as opposed to exciting whites?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying there? This is the way my mind works.
I guess
these are the little problems and dilemmas that I go through on an everyday basis.
Well, remember, wasn't there Pepsi and then Pepsi Max?
Well, the Pepsi Max was hyped up caffeine.
Oh, okay.
That's why it was called Pepsi Max.
Not like maximum flavor?
No, it was just hyped up caffeine.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you know what I'm saying about the Tylenol?
Yeah, why not just go extra
once
strength?
Extra strength has been invented, you kind of got to phase out the regular, don't you?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Where are we going with this company?
I don't know.
What was the point?
Exciting.
Why did they name
White.
it Exciting Whites?
Exciting Whites. Well, I'm not going to shop there. I'm going to go for the regular whites. why would you do that?
Well, maybe you want a mellow evening, so you don't want to be excited by the wine.
All right.
Right?
Let's go back to the phones. Joe and Fox Chase. Joe, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Joe. Where's Joe? I got to put him up. All right, hold on a second. There he is.
Hello.
Hello, Joe.
Hey, guys, how we doing?
Good. How you doing, Joe?
I just came back from North Wildwood. Beautiful. I wanted to talk about the Phillies, specifically Jose Alvarado. I'm so upset at him. I 100% blame him. Nothing else but him. But here's the thing. I'm going to keep track of how many games we're going to lose because of him. And the first one just happened. We had a 4-3 lead going in the ninth. We would have brought in Jose to finish it off. We had to go to Strom, and what happened? We lost.
Yeah, it's a problem. That's why I'm saying, like, I like the Phillies as a team. I think they're a top team in the league. But if I'm talking about having to win the whole thing, I got to have more hammers coming out of that pen for late inning, high leverage situations.
Yep, well, that's the first game that he actually really did cost us because we would have won with him. And I want to see how many between now and the end of the year we're in that situation where it's the bottom of the ninth, we're up a run, and Jose would come in, but we don't have him, and then we go somebody else and we lose it. I'm putting the blame on him. So,
yeah. Well, I know you're putting the whole blame on. Don't you think the Phillies deserve a little bit of blame?
No, you know what, Mike? Think about it. If you're going to take something, I don't care if it's an aspirin, whatever it is, you would go to the doctor and say, yo, doc, I'm thinking of taking this. Can you check this out for me before I take it? I want to make sure. And then,
yeah, well, now let me ask you. Do you think he got those through a legitimate doctor and at a legitimate pharmacy in Venezuela? It's not like going to CVS.
Yeah,
you know, there's CVS in Venezuela. Like I'm saying, like this probably was a behind-the-scenes type of thing that he was trying. He was using PEDs, who I think had the byproduct of maybe losing weight. But I think it was a PED thing that he was looking at.
And if he did that, Mike, then it's 100% his fault. There's no blame on anybody else. There's no way. You got to do that. If you're going to do anything, you got to make sure you check with your team and your doctors to make sure, 1,000% sure, that there's nothing wrong with what I'm about to take, period.
I get it. The other side of it is, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, the other side of it is that my man has a weight problem. When you got guys that are problematic like that, you stay on top of them. You get training staff to stay on top of them. We hear in Venezuela he's losing weight. Oh, really? How's he doing that? You know, I think a question could have been asked.
Yeah, man, all right, but he's a grown man, and he knows the responsibilities of it.
No, but these aren't grown men. Joe, these aren't grown men. These guys are trying to get an edge in baseball, man. They're not thinking like responsible adults.
Yeah, well, shame on him, and now he's suffering it from it, and it's costing
all
us.
right, buddy. You got it. Thanks for the
buddy.
call. I mean, you know, that's the only thing I think of. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's 100% hit. Yeah, it is. But, like, there are two factors here. One is that Venezuela, it's so easy to get performance-enhancing drugs down there in these kind of countries. It's not like you're going to your medical doctor and he's steering you to Rite Aid.
Yeah, we talked about this when it happened. I just don't see how when you put a guy on a weight plan, they put him on an off-season training program, and he comes back in shape, that you immediately just assume, oh, he must be on drugs.
No, I'm talking about during the whole thing. Let's check on Jose. Oh, looks like he dropped 7 pounds. How did he do it? That's all I'm saying.
And if they
ask a question.
But you're assuming they didn't.
He's eating lettuce?
But
I don't know.
They put him on an off-season training program.
Yeah,
so when he does exactly what you told him to do when he comes back, why do you just jump to the conclusion that he's on drugs?
There's a lot of off-season training programs that are going to lose weight anyway.
I mean, look
he's been a slacker in the past. They put him on off-season training programs since he was a big leaguer.
But under that rationale, then they should be testing Jesus Luzardo right now because he looks absolutely dominant, and he's pitched more innings already than he did last year.
Luzardo was a stud from the jump. There was no reason to doubt his weight or anything.
He had a down year last year. I guess he must be.
Because he was injured. He didn't have a weight problem. He was injured.
I'm just saying you can't assume that every single guy that comes back in shape is on drugs.
I'm telling you.
Even if you ask him.
I am telling you that this guy is a red light, okay? There are certain players in your system that are red lights. There are certain people that aren't, that you can trust. You don't care. There are certain guys you got to stay on top of. That's all I'm saying.
At the end of the day, I think it's all on Alvarado as well. But to the caller's point, and I agree that Alvarado getting suspended is going to lose some games for the Phillies. That's not why they lost on Sunday. Because, first of all, it wasn't the bottom of the ninth. It was the bottom of the eighth. So Strom would have probably been in that situation anyway. Alvarado would have pitched the bottom of the ninth potentially.
Who was up? What left-handers were up? They match up guys. So if there was left-handers up, Alvarado would have taken the eighth, and they would have gone to somebody else in the ninth.
Yeah, let's see. So bottom of the eighth, Lawrence Butler's the one that hit the triple. So Butler was a left-hander.
Okay.
So maybe they would have
There you
matched
go.
up
Alvarado would have had him.
Well, we don't know who would have been coming up in the bottom of the ninth because they could have gone Strom Alvarado, too.
Yeah, he usually manages from inning to inning. So if he had a matchup in the eighth, he probably would have gone to Alvarado in that eighth inning.
Maybe. But, I mean, look, you don't expect Strom to blow that save. Strom is one of your most reliable, if not your most reliable, bullpen arm right now.
Not in a save situation, though.
But it wasn't. It was the eighth.
Okay, so what, were two lefties coming up in that inning? If two lefties were coming up, that was Alvarado's inning.
And I guess, was Romano available? I don't even know if Romano was available because did he pitch 2 games in a row? I don't remember now. The whole weekend is blurring together.
Well, Romano pitched on Friday.
He pitched Friday.
So this was a Sunday.
This was Sunday. I don't know. Did Romano not pitch Saturday?
I don't think he did.
Yeah, you may be right. It is all running together. I was surprised to see the A's go with Mason Miller 3 games in a row.
He's young. Yeah, he's a young boy, young arm that you trust.
Still early in the season, man, to be doing that. But Phil's got to him at least 2 out of 3.
All right. Spencer Strider tonight and his massive thighs. You ever see that dude's legs?
Yeah, they're pretty jacked up, man. I guess they better be testing him for PEDs, right, Mike? With those thighs?
See, you're missing the point.
Should the brains be all over that or what?
You intentionally missed the point. Alvarado has always had a weight problem. He's like Tony Rocky Horror, like I told you before in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Tony Rocky Horror had a weight problem. So once that's on the record that you have a weight problem, I think it's incumbent upon your training staff and medical staff to stay on top of how is he losing weight.
And if he tells you, I'm following the training program that you put me on, they're supposed to not trust their player? They got to go out there and they got to do a full deep dive CIA investigation.
Has everybody trusted Jose Alvarado since he's been overweight for 10 years?
Well, he's never tested positive for PEDs before.
I'm talking about the weight now. Don't PED me. I'm talking about the weight. Has he always had a weight problem?
Well, according to Dombrowski, he's always been very self-conscious about his weight.
Oh, he has? That's why he was
Dombrowski
passed
said.
around, because his weight had ballooned out of control. That's what I'm saying. That is a red flag. So that guy, you may have to pay extra special attention to. That's all I'm saying. And I can't get you to go there.
Nah. It's on Alvarado.
It's because you're playing me.
And
playing a little fanboy right now.
Nah, the fact that Alvarado jumped on a plane and left without even talking to anybody, I think that signals he was lying to people. He was lying to people.
Of course he's lying to people. That's why you stay on top of him. You put a guy in the weeds to check on him.
Guy in the weeds. Anyway, Spencer Strider's on the mound tonight. You're right. Numbers have moved a little bit. Phils are now a minus 118 to win tonight. Braves are just a plus 100, so even money on the Braves. I think Rangers going to pitch another gem. Now, as I was walking to the bathroom, Mike, I had to go inside this beautiful clubhouse to go into the men's locker room. They got the TVs on.
Yeah.
And along the bottom line, the ticker.
The scroll?
The scroll. Rangers Suarez, apparently dating back to 2024, has like a 7.7 ERA against the Braves.
That's why the number is low tonight.
He has not pitched well against the Braves, but he's been pitching well.
Is it a violation to bet the Braves tonight?
Well, that would go right along with your Knicks love.
No, the Knicks aren't playing the Sixers.
Knicks are on the night, right?
Yeah, they are.
Let's see. What's the line on that?
Yeah,
game?
give me a line on that because I may put a couple shekels down on Indiana.
Oh, Knicks are favored by 2. It's a close one. Plus 116 for the Knicks, minus 136 for the Pacers, but only a 2-point favorite.
I think I'm playing the Pacers. Oh, wait a minute.
It's in Indiana.
Somebody's hurt. Who's hurt? Naismith.
He's not playing tonight for the Pacers?
He's questionable. That's maybe why that line is like that.
Hold on. I'm forgetting now. I thought of it this weekend when I saw it. Ray, what's their saying they're going with? Oh, the yes, sirs.
The what?
Right? Isn't that what they're going with, the Pacers? Did you see their shirts? They say
sirs?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well,
kind of corny. It makes me want to root against them.
Find out what that is tomorrow. Everybody, thanks for listening and down at this beautiful site. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.